11:01. It's time for Sports Time on Sports 96 and 98.5 on the app. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Francis Service. Here are your hosts, Francis Sportsworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. Landon Schmidt producing. We're with you for the next 3 hours. A ton to get into, a lot of NBA. A fun night on ESPN for the NBA last night. It started with the draft lottery at 6 o'clock. That went right into Boston at the Knicks, and then the second game, the Minnesota at the Golden State Warriors. Two fun games, a fun draft lottery, a lot to talk about with the NBA. We got to talk baseball, NFL scheduling news continues to come out, some college football, even some golf with the PGA Championship later this week. Plenty to get to, but before we do any of that, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well. As we come on the air, breaking news, Pete Rose, the late Pete Rose, and the late shoeless Joe Jackson, now Hall of Fame eligible as Major League Baseball lifts the ban. That does not mean the voters will vote them in, but they are now eligible to be in Cooperstown.
Yeah, definitely big news, and obviously, especially for Pete Rose, a lot of people after his passing thought that should be the move with him gone, that take him off the banned list and see what happens. But you're right, just being off the banned list does not mean that they will ultimately make it. They still have to get voted in, and so now we'll see. That will definitely be something to monitor the next time we have Hall of Fame voting.
If you had a Hall of Fame vote, would you vote for them to be enshrined into baseball immortality, into the halls of Cooperstown?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean,
why not?
Neither one of them bother me like it seems to bother some people. So, I mean, and they're when you talk about the history of baseball, you cannot talk about the history of baseball without those two guys. So I think if
all-time hits king.
Yeah, I mean,
Peter Edward Rose.
If I think we talked about this with Bo Marchand a lot when it comes to NFL Hall of Fame. He says if you're the best at your position for a couple of years, then you deserve to be in Cooperstown. And I think that's true. And I think that if you cannot tell the history of a certain sport without mentioning a player's name and what he did playing the game and his accomplishments, I think that player should be in Cooperstown. There's obviously, a negative sides with both these guys, and that stuff should be talked about. But
and has been.
Absolutely. But I don't think, especially at this point, it should keep them out of Cooperstown.
1989, August of 1989, when he agreed, Pete Rose agreed to and signed off on a legally binding formal document in the office of the Commissioner of Baseball, Bart Giamatti, that he would accept a lifetime ban. And at that time, the ban was A to Z. It meant you don't show your face.
Yeah.
You don't buy a ticket. You don't go to a spring training game. You don't get near any Major League Baseball facility. Through the years, that got a little bit relaxed, and we know shortly, like the day after, Bart Giamatti sadly fell dead to a massive heart attack. But Pete Rose in 1989 to now 2025, and certainly until his death last year, if that's not paying for a crime that he was guilty of, that he later admitted after a long-standing recalcitrant stand that he didn't do it. He said he did. If he didn't pay, who's ever paid?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think paid in full, and so yeah, it doesn't bother me one way or the other. And so yeah, we'll have to see what the voters ultimately say.
It did bother me in 1989 because there never was a more guilty figure that played on the public's affection for him. And and his massive hubris, ego, they'll never touch me. I'm the all-time hits king.
Sure.
I mean, we all have known people like that maybe even face a jury of their peers, just thinking I'm untouchable, and they get touched. And now he was guilty of tax evasion, but it was because of not paying his taxes, because he lost mightily at baseball and about everything else that I think he ever bought a ticket on. But at that time, it did bother me because after Joe Jackson, baseball was so burned by it, everybody knew you can't get near it. I mean, you can't associate with it, and you sure can't, as a manager of a team, bet on it. You can talk all you want that now it's legal everywhere you throw a rock. At that time, it wasn't, and at that time, it was directly expressed clearly from all the upper reaches of baseball. Nobody's immune to this.
Well, even today, I think that should be, it should be the same thing, and it should bother you today if that happened, just like it bothered you then. So, I think that is completely understandable. But obviously, all this time has passed now, and it would not bother me one way or the other if he was put in the Hall of Fame.
And you can play the transitive property game, and you can play the transference game of, there's a lot worse out there. Well, but there is. We know that, and there's places to handle that. But in Major League Baseball, the offices of the commissioner handle that, and he agreed to it. But I think if I had a vote, I will bet you, I'll bet you a Coca-Cola that he doesn't get in first ballot, because some will still want him to stew.
Of course.
And there might even be some pressure applied by that same upper reaches of baseball, and maybe some owners at a friendly rider or two that they know of. We can't let him just sail in on the first ballot after he's back on there. But they very well may. He could get in. But it will open up a larger debate, Brian, of if he goes in now posthumously, and long since for Joe Jackson being deceased. What about all the people that PED and steroid touches?
Sure, and that's completely different. It's a completely separate conversation, and one that I think is, player by player certainly changes things.
I would vote for every one of them first ballot.
Of course,
every single one of them.
I would too, but
because they were giving it as good as they were getting, we were questioning and doubting the bat boys in that era.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I think it's gonna be a long time before we even come around on that conversation of PED, because I mean that's when you start getting to performance enhancers, it's going to be a lot of blowback just with that, being performance enhancing.
Who's number one poster person of the blowback? Is it Barry Bonds?
It probably is.
Is it because Barry Bonds broke the unbreakable 755?
Yeah, it definitely is. And I don't even know if it should be him as the number one for the blowback, but it's just I think he's second or third best player to ever played the game. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is he is unbelievable. I think with or without PEDs, he would have been would have been an incredible player. And so that's why I don't think he should be number one poster boy. I think he probably would be just because his name is the biggest and of what he did. But I think just that group in general, no matter who it is, I think once you label that performance enhancing, that's just going to have that black eye for a very long time. And who knows when anybody comes around. But we've relaxed a little on some that had some taint to it. Sure, but when you get into that conversation of you took something that was supposed to help you perform better, I just think there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to want to come around on that. I mean, that's completely different from gambling on the sport. That's something that is directly affecting your performance. I still don't know how. I guess it could be explained to me. I still don't know how, no matter what Barry Bonds took, to make him be the most prodigious home run hitter ever at that new ballpark in San Francisco when nobody else can. Yeah. Why was he the one that the metabolism all worked perfectly and he could make that a bandbox and nobody before or he opened it during it or since has been able to do that? Well, that's why I keep going back to I don't think he should be the number one poster boy for this, because I think he was an incredible athlete, and whether he took PEDs or not would have still been an incredible athlete. You could argue that whenever he started, that what the career he had already had, instead of starting PEDs, he would be in the Hall of Fame by now if he had had a career-ending knee injury and never taken the first thing. That's right, and I think I've seen some of those arguments before of if you just take his time where it's documented not using PEDs and just took that and separated everything else, it's still one of the better careers you've seen in baseball.
I know the PEDs kept him in the lineup. I know
Sure.
you could argue that. But how did it make him a better defensive player?
Well,
How did it make him a better base runner? How did it make him a better two-strike batter?
Yeah, I don't have the answers for you on that one.
Nor do
but
I.
I am no doctor.
Maybe the old
am I.
East German Olympic team labs
That's
could
right.
tell
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Let's go. Let's bring them in. We'll fly them in and have.
And
them meet with
I
Major
really
League
don't want to do
Baseball.
a PED show
No,
today.
No, but there will be times when people will have that show and have that conversation about when will those guys.
I would
be
vote
allowed
for
in.
them all. Now, the rider, whatever rider there is, I'm not thinking of one. Just kind of in general, that rider that wouldn't vote for Pete Rose or wouldn't vote for Barry Bonds
Exactly.
because they're kind of nasty to him. I don't care. We're not running for most congeniality. Now I do know the old saying: you attract more with honey than you do
Sure.
with something else. But because Barry Bonds was not a nice person to the media, that doesn't to me qualify as a reason to not vote for him.
Certainly not. I mean, I don't care how you act off the
I wouldn't
field.
care how he was to me.
Yeah, I care about the numbers and what you did,
Yeah.
on the field, and I would hope that the Hall of Fame voters would.
Didn't
do the
know we
same
were going
with you.
there. Start.
No, had no
Never
idea.
do.
Had no idea. But that you're right. I mean, that news. I saw that notification literally 30 seconds before our open music started. So that was certainly breaking news from.
Let's
Major
talk
League
real
Baseball.
conspiracy.
Yeah,
the frozen
let's-
ping pong ball
let's
or
really talk
envelopes
it.
or something's
Yeah,
frozen,
yeah.
isn't it?
Dallas, how about last night? That was that certainly helped things down in the Big D.
What a big that loss to the Grizzlies helped them.
Well, it certainly did. That was they should send a thank you card or a thank you basket to the Memphis Grizzlies for that loss. But 1.8% odds to win the lottery, and they go out there and now we'll get Cooper Flagg, I guess.
Now, are you seeing some of these? I mean, literal mathematicians' chances of this happening. Are you saying
it's crazy?
when I say 0 point and then all the zeros afterwards? I think there were 9 before you got to the mortality rate for a healthy 20-year-old during COVID. It's like 19 zeros for it. Not only it happened last night, but the propensity, how often it has occurred. I saw one guy say it is the equivalent of when the Powerball gets up there at that $800, $900 billion range. It would be the equivalent of you winning that every time it got to $1 billion.
It's crazy.
And just no chance.
That's insane.
But you got to sober up. Why would
Exactly.
a $1 billion industry and a reputable accounting firm and the 14 independent media people that could watch over it, when back office person at the accounting firm could send the email again to Ronan Farrow, Mia Farrow's son, allegedly with Frank Sinatra. He's never denied
wow,
that.
really?
But anyway, that's
I did not know
60
that.
scuttlebutt.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
But, what kind of show is this? But you send it to somebody at the New York Post, it brings down
Oh, man.
a business that the NBA is getting ready to launch a $77 billion TV rights
Exactly.
deal.
Yeah. Well, I think the best point you made in that was the 14 journalists in there that were watching. I mean, all it takes is one of those people to go, you know what? This would be the biggest story ever. Biggest
Right.
sports story ever. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm
You
going
win
to break
every prize out there.
Exactly.
You make Woodward Bernstein look like the obituary page writer.
Exactly. I mean, you are taught in journalism school for years and years and years and years. And so, yeah, and our Drew Hill, from Memphis, who covers the Grizzlies, he tweeted out afterwards that he was in there.
Right.
No conspiracy theory. He said it happened, but he did say it is fun.
I don't
to
know Drew
scream
that
rig.
well, but what I know of him, I really respect
Sure.
and have a lot of regard for, and as very little as I know him, I really like him a lot. Wish I knew Drew a lot better. I really do. He's not on the take.
No, yeah.
This is crazy. And Brian, we pride ourselves. We stick with sports. I would just remind people. I know conspiracy's fun.
Very fun.
I know the conspiracy of it sells a lot more books, and then look, there's just nothing there. That's the end of it.
Right.
There's just nothing there. Well, we've been waiting for 60 years for the full release of the JFK files, haven't we?
Yep.
They've all been released. Anybody heard of any second gunman yet?
No. Have not.
Probably the most damning thing is just how big some of the institutions, CIA and things like that they are. But there hadn't been anything. Don't you think we would know if in all those documents for JFK, RFK, MLK that have all been released or will be released, that if there was if it wasn't just Sirhan, Lee Oswald, and James Earl Ray, don't you think we'd heard it by now?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think you would. But conspiracies are fun, Brett, and it's very fun to scream rigged at the NBA and put everything together.
I think all Tom Clancy was the writer of all the what was that book that he always had with Jack Ryan?
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the book. I don't read his
I mentioned
work,
it last week when we had Eli Craner. Anyway,
sure did.
I saw him one night on Book Notes on C-SPAN, and he was a pretty kind of hard shell guy, but very interesting. And they were taking calls. Brian Lamb hosting Book Notes on C-SPAN on Sunday night. Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm one of the two people that watch it. And a caller called in and said, "Hey, take me inside JFK." He said, I'm sorry, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And then he goes, this is what people can't understand. One loser got off 3 lucky shots.
Yep.
That's it. Go home.
Yep. Yeah. And that you just laid it out, and it's it's not as fun.
But you can't have that.
Exactly. It's not as fun as every other conspiracy theory.
We're going to get to the lottery again at the bottom of this hour, but boy, the conspiracies. I think it's sad.
It is. It's getting old. I'll tell you that. It was fun for the first 5 minutes last night, and then it's starting to get old now.
40th year last night. It goes back to the Patrick Ewing night. Last night, and it started it.
Yeah, and here we are, still doing it. But hey, Nico, he was the winner last night and gets the number 1 pick now. So yeah, we'll definitely talk a lot more draft lottery, what the result means for the upcoming draft for the Grizzlies. We'll talk about that in our next segment. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, like I mentioned, we'll talk NBA draft lottery. Not a great night for the Grizzlies. Dallas gets number 1. The Spurs get number 2. So 2 teams that you see a ton.
We'll get to that 3:30. Grizzlies one of the big losers of last night.
Really were. And so it definitely did not work out in their favor.
Didn't tape an ankle and lost last night.
No, and we were kind of going through it yesterday of like, man, look at all these Eastern Conference teams that could get number 1. That's great. Send them over there. And then 1 and 2, both
honestly,
Western
did you think of me
teams.
last night when the easiest thing is last goes first?
Oh yeah, I mean, but it made for a lot of talk last night. That was the news all over the place, and you certainly wouldn't have gotten that if it was just worst to best. But you did have to feel bad for some of those tankers last night.
Horrible, and I'm gonna get to that.
I mean, Utah, 3 teams, 14%
Poor
chance.
Washington,
and the best got number 4. I mean,
there are people within 2 blocks of their building that don't know they play anymore.
Well, it was a bad night for tankers, that's for sure. But we'll talk a lot of NBA draft lottery in our next segment. 3:45, we'll talk baseball. The Cardinals, they won again last night, but rained out today. So the bad news is they can't extend their win streak. The good news is the win streak at least lives on for another day.
Yeah, but with baseball, you don't want to ever slow down when you're hot.
That's true, and you certainly don't want to play a doubleheader tomorrow, and that's what the Cardinals will do. But we'll talk Cardinals, we'll talk baseball at 3:45. Handful of walk-offs last night in Major League League Baseball. Alex Verdugo walked it off for the Braves. Pete Alonso walked it off for the Mets. So we'll talk a lot of baseball at 3:45. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. He'll join us. We'll talk a lot of college football with him, a little bit of college basketball as well. We'll do that at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we'll talk the NBA playoffs with 2 games last night. The Knicks get another win over the Boston Celtics, 121-113. They now take a 3-1 lead in that series, and Jason Tatum left the game with an injury. The second game, Timberwolves at the Warriors. Timberwolves, they get another win. Now they lead the series 3-1 as well. Also talk about the 2 games tonight, Pacers at Cavs and Nuggets at Thunder. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, usually Bo Marchant, but the very rare, Brett, I've been here for a while, and I do not remember a time Bo Marchant has missed with us, so a very rare miss from Bo Marchant.
Bo was kind enough to first start joining us semi-regularly in 2010.
Okay.
Started having him every Tuesday, talk the number one sport in the country, the NFL, every Tuesday at 5 o'clock with him in mid-2011. I'm going to say around going to camp time, around July or so. One time he asked me, hey, can I go at 4 instead of 5 today? I've got a little kid recital. Well, of course you can. And today, I just really need off.
Hey,
he's still running, but he needed away today. He's doing work for Hamilton in the CFL and had to be at a meeting there.
I love it. And preseason for CFL gets kicked off next week. Very excited about it. So definitely Bo Marchant, he's been so good to us, but we will miss him today. But instead, we'll be talking golf in that segment. One of our favorite golf guests, Doug Bell, around all the majors. We love getting Doug on. He'll join us from PGA Tour Radio and CBS Sports. We'll talk the PGA Championship later this week and kind of what's been going on in the golf world since the Masters, what to expect this weekend at the PGA Championship. We'll do that at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, wrap up today's show like we always do with Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. It's pool time, and Family Leisure is already booking pool installs for 2025. Buy now and get on the list for your pool installation. 2024 pools starting at $19.99 installed, with liners starting at $299. All pool accessories now up to 20% off. 5 to 6 person hot tubs starting at $69.99, and swim spas and cold plunge tubs now $2,000 off. Don't forget about the patio furniture. Select sets now up to 50% off. And if you mention this ad, get free installation only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Bryant. I'm Brett. We're produced by Landon Schmidt. We are Sportstime, and we're with you until 6 o'clock. We want you to be a big part of our show by texting or calling our Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk number, 901-360-8255. Hit us up there. We're always in our Family Leisure studios, and all our guests will join us at the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. This hour brought to you by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models and always special leasing options. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but they want you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day is the Dallas Mavericks winning the NBA draft lottery last night. The draft lottery started at 6. It really didn't get started until about 6:15, 6:17. It was a lot of talk before we finally got some names on the board for the lottery. But very quickly, we learned that a couple teams would be jumping into the top 4, both Dallas and San Antonio jumping into the top 4. We learned later that the 76ers were also jumping into the top 4, along with the only team that had 14% odds out of the 3 that were left in the top 4. That was the Charlotte Hornets. Ultimately played out where Dallas gets number 1, and San Antonio gets number 2. Now, reporting today from Dallas says that the Mavs are not going to trade the number 1 pick. They intend to draft Cooper Flagg at number 1. So what happens now at 2? I think there are questions there. Do San Antonio, do they take one of these players in the draft? Do they try to trade down? Do they maybe try to create a package to go get Giannis? Who knows? Time will tell, but the big winner last night, the Dallas Mavericks, maybe the biggest loser of the night, though, the Memphis Grizzlies, because now we already know you're going to see Wembanyama for a long time. You could see another really young player alongside him, but now it feels like you're going to see a lot of Cooper Flagg for the next, 10-plus years if you're the Grizzlies.
When I asked you yesterday what team could be helped immediately with Cooper Flagg on being in the playoffs next year, I never dreamed it could be Dallas even in the mix. I said Philadelphia. They had double-digit odds. Dallas was down there at 1 point something, but Dallas got him, and now we got to see him 4 times a year.
That's right.
For the next 12 years.
Should be fun. Not.
No. Wow. Top story for me. The real good and the real bad of sports on full display last night at Madison Square Garden. Knicks fans celebrating like they haven't since we all partied like it was 1999. On the other side, the agony of Jason Tatum. Great game, 40 points, but seriously injured. And now the Knicks need 1 out of the next 3 games, or it'll be the choke of all time. Jalen Brunson, who invented basketball in New York City, he was great last night. 39 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds. They just need 1 more to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Not top story of the day.
Well, that's my not top story of the day. The results from last night. You started out with Boston getting a big lead. Jason Tatum playing great. It was another double-digit lead for the Celtics, but it was a lot of back and forth. The Celtics would get up by 13, 14 points. Then here would come the Knicks on a 7-0 run, an 11-0 run to make it tied again. The Celtics would jump back out, and then here come the Knicks until ultimately the Knicks were able to take control of that game late in the third into the fourth quarter. Then you had the injury to Jason Tatum, which really solidified that win for the Knicks and feels like solidifies this series for the Knicks. Like you said, it would be a disaster if the Knicks don't win this series, now up 3-1. And then you go to the later game in the Western Conference. Timberwolves with another win over the Steph Curry-less Golden State Warriors. 117-110, another game where the Warriors leading at halftime, but then a massive third quarter by the Timberwolves gave them a big lead, and the Warriors made it close in the fourth quarter. This game was over at the end of the third quarter. There was really no way that the Warriors were going to come back and win this game, and so now for the Timberwolves, they're in the same position the Knicks are in, just need 1 more win to advance to the Western Conference Finals. It feels like they'll be able to get that, and if you're Golden State Warriors, you are just praying that Steph Curry can return earlier than expected, because that feels like the only way that you have a chance to win this series.
My not top story, ping pong ball night again delivered on a May night with odds that defy any other example of humans on planet Earth against anything else. They're too astronomical, really, to explain. I mean, you go to everything, ChatGPT, ask Grok. You ask anything today, and it's just 0 point and then a string of zeros for it to regularly occur like this. But I categorically reject chicanery. I do. I categorically reject that the fix is in. But what they do have to do, everything that people saw backstage, like the 14 journalists and media members that saw it, and what they used to do this, and people still complain. Sure. But they got to go back now to showing everything. They got to show the ping pong ball being manufactured. They got to show it all, or you're going to have all this. And I submit that would make better TV showing it all.
I actually, for me at least, I would not want to watch that. That's what NHL did with their draft lottery this year. It was all in front. Most boring thing I've watched in a really long time. Now, I say that with the draft lottery is already pretty boring. I mean, it's just, hey, here's a name, here's a name, here's a name. So I don't think it's going to get any more exciting. I would like to see it all. I think it would be good for the people that are calling the fix. And it seems like, Brett, every single year you get, whether it's something like this or if it's something like,
and the Lakers connection.
Sure. I mean, but even last year
they delivered Zion to New Orleans after they traded AD.
Exactly. You see all that. But I mean, even last year with Wembanyama and wow, the Spurs, of course they're going to give Pop the number 1 pick. And this was all, Pop only has a couple more years left. He's going to go and coach. Every year someone's going to find something to call the rig. So yeah, I'm completely fine. I would like if they had that available to the public to see, so that maybe we could eliminate some of that this is rigged. But I think you're always going to have that. Well, that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. And when we return, we'll talk more about the NBA draft lottery, what it means for the upcoming draft. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Price guarantee. Visit TakePick.com and score your season before the best matchups are gone. $10 off your NFL order with code FS10 on the TakePick app.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. Did you know there are so many roofing companies in Memphis that I don't even know them all? So that begs the question, which one should you choose? So I thought I'd give you a little background about me. My grandfather was a World War II Marine. My father worked for the University of Memphis for nearly 30 years. My mother, a pianist at Raleigh Baptist Church. Seems like forever. I went to Brownsville Road, Craigmont, and Bartlett High School, class of 81. We support the local school systems, youth athletics, and believe in what St. Jude and Le Bonheur stand for. I'm a Tiger and Grizz fan. The point? Memphis is my home. 5 Roofing will be around if you ever have a problem with the service we provide. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, with deep local ties in our community. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing is what we do. We're here for you. Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. There were some troopers out running radar earlier, so it appeared they're on I-40 out in parts of Fayette County, just past New Airline Road. As you come out of Shelby County, it's picked up now Midtown. Traffic right on schedule. Here we go. 240 southbound and South Parkway. Trying to get a little bit busier on 240 east from Mill Branch all the way out to 385. Dandelions, nutgrass, crabgrass, Lawn Solutions here in Memphis says not a problem. Call Lawn Solutions right now. You'll be glad you did. That number's 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time. Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stark, Sports Movie, and Brian Gates.
So, Brett, at this time yesterday, I was looking at the rosters. I was trying to predict what would the starting lineups look like with Cooper Flagg in Utah, or Cooper Flagg in Washington, or Cooper Flagg with Charlotte. Which one would I like the most?
New
Which
Orleans.
One would Sure, New Orleans. What team would I like him to be on the most? What team would be the most fun to watch? And I'll tell you this, I was with my brother yesterday, and he did jokingly say yesterday afternoon, I think Dallas is going to get number one. I go, you're crazy. But in that same breath, he said, because I was going through like all these teams, I was getting down to, 12, 13, 14. I was like, well, if he, gets to Chicago, this is how he would kind of look and how he'd play. And he's like, why are you even worrying about teams that far down? I mean, none of those teams are going to win the draft lottery. And then lo and behold, last night, the Dallas Mavericks get the number one overall pick. The San Antonio Spurs get number 2. Going into last night, again, in case anybody has missed this, Dallas, 1.8% chance to get the number 1 overall pick. San Antonio, a 26.3% chance to get in the top 4 last night. Both of those teams jump up, and both of those teams get in the top 2. Not a great night for Grizzly fans.
No, it was not. And Brian, three of those 4 teams, that last 4, it was hard to believe they made it. You could see the Hornets up there, poor Wizards.
Oh, yeah.
And all those losses. They have to, feel like they can't do anything right. But I just so roundly reject conspiracy. I made my case of why I do, and I'm going to talk about mostly about just the lottery. But I would like a little more for everybody to see. I think even for those people that were in the room, heck, they might want it. Yeah. But I trust those people. You're not paying off that many people.
Right.
You can't and wouldn't. Somebody would reject it. Somebody, more than one. 14 would have. I don't want to do that to those good people. But for the Mavs to come out on top, never saw that coming. Spurs are going to get another good player. And we mentioned yesterday, I asked you if we bought conspiracy, who would it be for? And I think you said the Spurs.
Yeah, it would have been a nice fit and would have been fun.
Right, but why? And so if you buy conspiracy and this was all rigged, everything, the fix was in, that the deal was cut with Adam Silver, with Nico, with the Adelson family that bought the team from Mark Cuban, with the Lakers, with the Buss family, with Rob Pelinka, with everybody involved there. You get Luka, we take care of you at draft time. When did the Dallas Mavericks become one of the crown jewels of the NBA?
Well, that's the thing, and I think that goes back. I remember back at the trade deadline, and everyone was saying that now that that Luka was out of Dallas, that they were doing this, they were trying to tank their entire franchise, and this was obviously a casino family trying to get to Las Vegas. Well, I don't know why you would reward
They're going
that.
to get casino gambling passed
exactly
in Texas, and they're going to build the biggest arena and casino joining one another that we can imagine. It's going to make Balmer's building look like you're building White Station High's gym.
Exactly. And so I don't understand why it would be, obviously the easiest one is, well, the Lakers needed Luka, and so, I'll scratch your back, you scratch my
dumb.
back. Yes. Now, easy and dumb usually are fun, and I think it is fun for people to do this, but, those are all in their own category, and I think it's far from the truth most times.
But, I'm seeing all this, rot online, and I'm going, it's not like Dallas, Lakers, Celtics, even Knicks, Spurs, with what they've won, Golden State, with what they've won. Now, Brian, the questions around NBA draft and how people get players, it goes back forever. It goes back to how the Celtics, as good as they were at the time, how they pulled off getting Bill Russell. I think it was in a trade with the St. Louis Hawks for Easy Ed McCauley.
Okay.
But there were people then going, well, the fix is in. And Ed McCauley was a great player. I mean, I think Hall of Famer, but a great player. Why would you just give him away, for Bill Russell? There was, questions around the Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar trade to the Lakers. Wilt Chamberlain's acquisition by the Lakers. Lakers always get that player, and they're always involved with some question. How did the Lakers pull off getting Magic Johnson when they were good and at the top of the draft, they get him? The whole Larry Bird acquisition by the Celtics, I think I have this mostly right, that Red Auerbach could and did the year before use up a draft pick for the then junior at Indiana State that basketball people knew about, and a lot of people did, but not everybody. It was not. He was not Larry Bird until about January, February of that senior year. He wasn't. I remember it well. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated with two smoking hot Indiana State cheerleaders, and that's when the whole world knew who Larry Bird was. And somehow he held his rights to the next year, which was classic kind of Red Auerbach. They got rid of stuff like that, but he pulled a fast one on the league.
Yeah, so it goes back as far
it
as
goes
the league
back
goes
forever
back.
with people going, how did he end up there?
Of course, and it's not gonna. This isn't gonna be the last time. Every single year we're gonna have. How did this happen? How did that happen? And so, it will be a lot of talk about Dallas. And now, the question was after, what do they do? Do they stick with Cooper Flagg? Do they try to, trade the number one pick? It has come out today that it sounds like they plan on keeping the number one pick, drafting Cooper Flagg. And so, if that's all set in stone now, I think, now the question is, what do the Spurs do at number two? And I think that could be where maybe you see them try to go and get a trade for maybe Giannis.
Any regrets by you and to our listening audience, any regrets that the Grizzlies didn't lose and get into the lottery?
No. I mean, because they likely would have been at, 14?
Could have, Dallas.
I mean, could have, but, you look at those first, the first three teams remained the same in the draft lottery?
Do you think this will cause more tanking or less?
I think the hope would be less tanking because you saw the teams that tanked, it hurt them. I mean, you look at, we mentioned only one team out of the three teams that had a 14% chance to get number one. Only one of those teams were even in the top four. That was the Hornets. The Washington Wizards, they get 6. The Utah Jazz get 5. So the three teams that had the 14% chance, 4, 5, and 6. So I think you would hope that it kind of takes away from the tanking when you see top three, Dallas in the play-in, Spurs were are building something, didn't have a terrible season, 76ers had a bad season, but it wasn't worst in the league bad season. So I think you would hope that tanking stops, but I don't think it will. I think whenever you have that, you're able to dangle that top draft pick, there are going to be teams out there that go, we'll tank and we'll try to get that number one pick.
Here was another really wild time in NBA drafts, and you can go back and look at the two drafts kind of side by side each other is when the ABA existed. And the ABA was going out there and really signing big name players. Well, they would send word to the NBA, or make no word. I've signed with. There's no need to draft me. And you see way down there, go, why Dr. J go that late to like Milwaukee or wherever he went? David Thompson even, and Spencer Haywood famously challenging baseball's term the reserve clause. So it unfortunately goes way back. There's nothing new about it. But I again roundly reject the conspiracy, and I just wish, and if you want to be bad enough to get the number one pick, and let's say the next combination of Kobe and Shaq all in one player comes along, and you want to win 5 games and do that to your fans and be number one, go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean,
last goes first.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of these teams. I mean, I think Washington and the Hornets are in a little bit of a better spot, but I mean, Utah. The season that their fans just went through.
They got crushed.
All of those games, and just it doesn't really feel like they have much in terms of, hey, these are the pieces that we can build around and really turn this into. But I don't know about them. We know that they have a flair for trading up and making big trades. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to move from 5 and maybe get up into that top 3. Maybe if the Spurs want to trade back, maybe they would trade from 2 to 5. Who knows? But definitely something to keep an eye on.
And then there's this with the draft. I don't think this is going to happen. I hope it doesn't. I'm looking forward to watching Cooper Flag for the next 10, 12, 15 years, probably all in Dallas, 2 times coming through Memphis.
Probably going to get traded in 6 years, if Nico Harrison's still in charge.
Well, he could. There's also the bus factor. BUST. Not BUSS as in Jerry.
Yeah.
But it's happened.
It absolutely has. It definitely has. And so, we'll see. I am really excited about this draft and a lot of these guys, especially at the top of it. So we'll see, the moves now, what type of trades will we see? What type of speculation will we see? Obviously, the combine going on right now. A lot of guys working out today. Tomorrow, we'll see a lot of the scrimmages, but pretty much no top guys participating tomorrow. I mean, I think the top guy, I'm looking at the first round on Tankathon. Yaxel Lindenborg at 26 in their mock draft. I know he's playing. He's pretty much the only first-round guy. And Janai Broom on Tankathon, they have him mocked going first round. There's only 2 guys participating in the scrimmages tomorrow. So if you're the Grizzlies, you'll be paying attention to the scrimmages tomorrow.
Well, I would like to see Yaxel and Broom going at each other.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. So no, I'm excited. I always love the scrimmages of the combine, and so we'll keep an eye on that. But definitely have a little bit of a better idea of what the top of the draft will look like here in a couple of months. Let's go ahead and get to another break. When we return, we got to talk baseball. Cardinals, they do it again last night, another win, this time against Philadelphia. We'll talk that and more baseball next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Choates. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free Green Egg Grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with a high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow-smoke barbecue on us. But hurry, this special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
So whether you're into a rivalry or just want a weekend experience, pay less. It's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH Equipment headquarters.
Memphis Public Links has so much going on right now. Audubon is right around the fairway. Wait until you see when this thing is a finished product. Fox Meadows is in great shape. The Links at Pine Hill is now a masterpiece of a place to play, as are really all the other Memphis public golf courses. Galloway is playing like a championship course. They just finished the 75th year of the OPO, and Overton Park is now talked about, and that layout all across the state. And by the way, folks, it's so easy to make a tee time. The hard part is getting your buddies to pick their time. You go online to memphispubliclinks.com, select your course, then grab your tee time. Simple, easy, and incredibly convenient. Also, on the website is a schedule of upcoming events. There you'll find something that will interest you. Again, if you want to book a tee time or find out more about tournaments or other events at any of the great Memphis public golf courses, go online to memphispubliclinks.com.
So you need to sell your house? I have a solution. 914-611-01. That's 914-611-01. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses, any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone, call 914-611-01. That's 914-611-01. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 914-611-01. Bill and I buy houses. Now, back to Sports Time. Sports Business. This hour is brought to you by Lexus Service. Here are your hosts, Let's Talk Sports with Brian Gates.
Well, I know we're going to talk a little bit of baseball here, but breaking news just came out during that break regarding the NBA. Shams Charania tweeting out that Boston Celtics All-NBA star Jason Tatum underwent surgery to repair a torn right Achilles tendon. Catastrophic season-ending injury for one of the NBA's young faces, and the Celtics with a long rehab awaiting. So Jason Tatum, it was as bad as we thought it was last night when he went down, and they will be without him, obviously, the rest of this season, which doesn't feel like it's going to be long with him out, but a lot of next year he will also be, if not all of next year.
It was awful.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And he had really
great.
that, I won't say transcended. I think he had done enough. And we kind of went back to yesterday's dialogue about, does he get enough regard? He's had transcendent moments. He was just having another good one.
Sure. No, he was.
And then had a real bad one.
He was great last night. He was really one of the main reasons that Boston had the double-digit lead, that Boston was in control for a good portion of that game. 42 points, 7 for 16 from three, and then went down late, and you could kind of tell when he went down that it was going to be really bad. And this is about what a lot of people expected, but it's a killer for Boston.
New York's on fire. They're really enjoying it. They should.
Absolutely.
And did you see the crowd on 7th Avenue celebrating?
Oh, yeah.
They're happy.
Look out. Get out of the way. I mean, it's a good time to be a Knicks fan, and this is all they wanted, and, it's working out right now, and they're enjoying it, and they should be.
Yeah.
Been a lot of fun. We're going to talk more about the NBA playoffs at about 4:30. We'll break down both games last night, talk about the two games tonight. I did want to talk some Major League Baseball here. Cardinals, they win again, a 3-2 win last night over the Phillies. A couple of young guys with home runs in that game for the Cardinals. Gets them over the hump in a series that is going to be tough, and at some points was really tough last night. But another win for the Cardinals.
This is Memphis Redbirds everywhere in the show, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. And
we've seen all these at $5. Yeah. You could watch all these guys the last 3 years, practically.
You sure could. And, you look through this lineup, whether it's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. I guess right now it's a really good thing because they're doing all this winning. But, yeah, all these guys came through. They were, guys that went through here.
Everybody except for
Arenado, Contreras, and that's it.
That's it.
Those were the only two guys on the field last night.
Mason Wynn played 2 full years.
Sure did, and was
Elliot Burleson
really good.
Felt like he was here
Forever.
Since the team got here.
Yeah, no, he was here for a while. But no, I thought a really impressive showing. Matthew Libator, another guy that came through here in Memphis. He was, I thought, really good.
That you were big on.
Yeah, no, that was my guy, and
he was the key man in the trade with the Rays.
Sure was.
Big time Tommy Pham.
Well, yeah, that is
big leaguer Tommy Pham.
That is true. But another good win, and that's a good Phillies team that they beat last
Real
night.
Good team.
And now the rain out today, so doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah, that hard to keep the streak going past that.
Yeah, it feels like tomorrow is could be the end.
Doubleheader's been the Cardinals' thing.
That's true. They have been really good at doubleheaders. But oh man, you don't like your chances of sweeping a doubleheader any day. But like you said,
but won't get swept. You don't feel like.
Well, you hope not. I guess if the odds
got Sonny Gray going,
sure, and that I was excited for that matchup tonight.
I was too.
Jesus Luzardo for the Phillies and like you said, Sonny Gray for the Cardinals.
Always tough to take on a man named Jesus.
That's true. It's true. It feels like
be careful.
Feels like they've got the right.
Luzardo's great stuff.
Oh, he's awesome. He's great, and a guy that for a couple years now, Marlins was down with the Marlins. You felt like was going to be a big star. Now with the Phillies, in the middle of a great pitching rotation, and so yeah, that's going to be a fun series to continue watching. But that wasn't the only fun last night. A couple walk-offs around Major League Baseball. The Braves get it done in the bottom of the ninth. The Mets get it done.
Drew Pomerantz got it done for the Cubs.
That's right. So I mean, it was last night was a lot of fun around Major League Baseball.
I'm sitting there pulling for Drew Pomerantz with the Cubs.
Well, that's rare, but at least you're supporting somebody, I guess. I don't know if I would have done the same if I was watching that game last night. But hey, good on you. But a really fun day last night. I mentioned the Cardinals game postponed today. Twins-Orioles already postponed as well tonight because of rain. But the action, it'll get started here in a little more than an hour. Brewers-Guardians, they'll start things off about 5:10. So that should be a fun game. Some good ones tonight. I think Red Sox and Tigers will be a fun series. That one on TBS tonight. So definitely keep an eye on some of these games later this evening. Well, we need to wrap up this first hour and get to a break. When we come back, we're talking college football with Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom-made solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? You have it covered at Humdinger. It's quick, it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. Many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Pools, and more pools. Yes, it is pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure is already booking pool installs, so you need to buy now and get on that list. 24-foot pools start at $19.99 install. Liners are starting at $2.99. You're going to need some pool accessories, so they're all up to 20% off. Not quite ready for a pool? That's fine. Get a 5 or 6 person hot tub starting at under $7,000. You can also go for a swim spa or perhaps a cold plunge tub. Those are now $2,000 off. Get patio furniture up to 50% off on select sets. Buy your pool now. Get on that install list. Mention this commercial, and your install is free. It's underlined in the in bold print, so you know it's big. It's pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Good afternoon. There's a couple of EMS calls out here the last few minutes. Just check the traffic flow for you over there on I-40, especially around Hollywood, headed over to Covington Pike. Still moving at the moment on all the major outbound routes now. It's trying its best to get a little bit busier through the Midtown area, right on schedule actually on 240 South at South Parkway, all the way down past Norris. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry wants you to know they are your diamond engagement ring headquarters here in the Memphis area. Go by and see them at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beer, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beer. SEC, ACC, AAC, we talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beer with Brian and Brent.
Brent Beer joins us now from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. He joins us talk college football and a little college basketball. Brent, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start with the news from last week. Ross Dellinger reported that the 4 Power Conference commissioners held an in-person meeting in New York to discuss several issues, one being the future playoff format. The one that is gaining support within the Big Ten and SEC is a 16-team bracket that would include 13 autos. 3 at-larges. The autos would be 4 from the SEC, 4 from the Big Ten, 2 from the ACC, 2 from the Big 12, 1 from the group of 6 with season-ending interleague play-in games for the Big Ten and the SEC. What do you make of this proposed future playoff format?
Well, guys, good afternoon. That's the direction they're going. They aren't going to 14. I think they're going to 16. I know Petiti, the commissioner of the Big Ten, won 16. Sankey, I think, may go either way, but guys, frankly, I don't see you going to 14 and then edge up going to 16. I think they're going to go from 12 to 16, and look, if they get 4 apiece, the Big Ten and the SEC, what's not to say with there's 3 at-large teams. One of those will be Notre Dame when they have one of those years, and then you've got 2 at-large teams. So could the Big Ten SEC end up with 5?
Yeah, one for you, one for us. Yeah, that's exactly what it'll be.
Crazy.
So that's not and look, if they'd had 16 this year, at least some combination of Alabama, Ole Miss, and South Carolina would have been in this year.
Well, to hear South Carolina talking today, they'd just been a one-team playoff, and they'd have been the team.
Yes, I'm aware.
Never mind what we actually saw on the field.
True.
Against one of the teams they now suddenly think they're better than.
Yeah, I know. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yes, by the way,
their big defensive lineman Kennard, he's holding on the solid bagel across the board. 0 tackles, 0 sacks, zero anything.
That's right.
It wasn't his best day, was it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But hey, now this year is the year for South Carolina, as we all know.
According to just about everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Except for me, first college football prediction right here, right now. You ready?
Wow, I didn't know we were getting this. Please.
Opening day, Virginia Tech straight up over South Carolina.
Oh, book it.
Tech actually supposed to be better this year. Frankly, yeah.
They got to be better opening day this year than they were last year.
Yeah.
Well, they really do, don't they? My star, and listen, there's South Carolina, and I may mispronounce it, but they're running back. It looks like Faison. They've still got to get a waiver to get him eligible. I mean,
from Utah State, right?
Yes, correct. I mean, he gained 1,000. Look, he wasn't out of this world stance at Utah State, but he gained 1,100 yards. So I mean, he could help them, but at the same time, Lenore Sellers, I mean, he's got to be better, doesn't he? I mean, he's a good dual threat guy, but his passing's got to improve.
Brent, I think this 16-teamer, I think it's done. It's been floated out there too much, hadn't been shot down.
Right.
I think everybody, ACC is going through their meetings now. SEC will at the end of this month, as they always do, and a lot of business gets done there, and a lot of college football honchos are there at that aren't affiliated with SEC schools. And then around media day, I think they'll probably have an announcement. May wait till and let media days do its own thing and announce it afterwards. But I think it's done. I think it's done for about 4 or 5 years, and then we'll see if it grows anymore. In that, and the reason why it's done, the ACC and the Big 12 basically got told, I feel like y'all do this, or we're going to move on without you, and you won't get any. You get 2 now each.
Yes.
You'll get 0 going forward.
Oh yeah. And look, the SEC's argument is, and I get this, is we have the best players, best coaches, best resources, but more than anything, we have more eyes on the television set for our game than anything else. Correct?
That is correct, and I meant to bring this up with some NBA conversation earlier, Bryant. You remember a few weeks ago, and he very much should be. Adam Silver was speaking at a sports business conference in Nashville after the first weekend of the first round of NBA playoff games, and he was touting that first weekend drew an average of 4.4 million viewers.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't seen this story since that first weekend. For the entirety of the first round, it fell down to 3.7, and I made this example when it was at 4.4. 4.4 is exactly, Brent, what Arkansas and Texas Tech drew on a Friday night for the Liberty Bowl. 3.7, what they ended up averaging. That's a strong college game day or a big noon.
They love the and I'm pretty sure the goal is to get 4 million. Now there are a lot of the bigger games that are going to get double and triple that, and
Ole Miss and Georgia got 8 million last year.
Yeah, they sure did. Oh yeah, so that's the television goal is to reach that. I mean, and obviously you got Texas, Ohio State, first game of the year. What's that going to draw?
15.
Yeah, probably. Yes. I mean, Alabama, Georgia.
It just crushes the NBA.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. Yeah, yes. And I mean, it's an obscene amount of money spent on the NBA to get those kind of television results. Nowhere near the NFL and the college football.
Yeah, no, it is. It's two completely different things in terms of what you can get from any other sport in college football and the NFL. Brent, I feel like we've asked you this question a couple of times now, but more and more stories coming out regarding North Carolina and Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. Last Friday, it was reported by Pablo Torre that she was not allowed anymore in team facilities. North Carolina shot that down a few hours later. I don't really know if I believe North Carolina when they shot down that accusation. Things are getting weird, even weirder than I thought they would get at North Carolina before Bill Belichick has even coached a game.
Listen, this is one of the strangest things I think we've seen in years, frankly. And he has helped me on this, but he is supposed to be, Belichick is supposed to be on one of the national morning shows Friday, Good Morning America or Today, or one of them. And
with Michael Strahan, isn't he?
Yeah. And he's got a book out too, correct?
Sure does, yeah. Came out like last week or the week before, yeah.
Good time.
Now, my question for both of you is, will there be in the production meeting, they're going to go over this, But I mean, will there be a hard and fast no to? There'll be nothing else asked of a personal nature. Is that coming, guys?
Gotta be. Absolutely.
When will she be immediately off camera?
Probably.
Very well. I mean, I can't. I was going to say I can't imagine, but in this situation, I guess we can imagine anything. I mean, is she going to be there in the by him in the studio, crouched over in the corner, and giving directions? I'm not sure that's going to work on a national morning show.
But it will eventually get to football talk at North Carolina, won't it?
Boy, they really hope so. I mean, they really do. But guys, the problem with this is it will continue to go up the food chain. Now, you mentioned Pablo's article a few minutes ago, Bryant. I mean, he had one yesterday, I believe, that said, and he may have doubled down on this, that he thinks there's a real chance that Belichick won't even coach one game at North Carolina. I believe the deal there is, what is it, guys? Is it after July 1st?
June 1st.
His buyout goes down to about $1 million, which for a major university is, I won't say pocket change, but you get the point. So, I mean, I think you'll coach.
It's copy and machine toner.
Yeah, really, it's pretty good. But here's the problem with this. If it keeps going, it goes further up the food chain, and it goes from the SID office to the AD. Then sooner or later, when it gets embarrassing enough, and this may have already happened, the president is sending in these meetings, and then at that point, it may not be a real good meeting for Bill.
And last night on the Golf Channel, the owner of the golf course, the country club in Charlotte where the PGA Championship's being played, Johnny Harris, and just to hear him talk and his story and the enthusiasm and just what he's accomplished, member at Augusta National, and really nice man. But he was being interviewed about, getting yet another major to Quail Hollow, and he's asked live on the Golf Channel about Belichick because Johnny Harris is a big Tar Heel.
Wow.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Well,
I bet they don't like having to be asked about that.
No.
He very nicely and gentlemanly deflected and kind of said, "Let's talk golf."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, but guys, here's the other difficult thing about this. What they can't have happen, and it's probably beginning to, is you can't be the laughing stock by being on a Saturday Night Live skit or fodder for Jimmy Fallon or Kimmel or one of them. I mean, at some point, that's where it's going if it's not there now.
I thought interesting before he said, "Let's talk golf," Johnny Harris made a point to say what regard he had and friendship he has with Mac Brown. So there's some of those people that might want a little pound of Belichick's for them getting rid of Mac, doing real or perceived how they think Mac Brown might have gotten done.
You know what? That's a really interesting point, in an astute point at that. Brett and I have learned over the years with well-heeled alumni who have been around and writing big checks. Brett, they have long memories, don't they?
Boy, they sure do. Brent, we've seen so many cases of it. Okay, you got me this year. You won for now. Next coaching carousel, payback's going to be what.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, and I remember seeing this morning. And speaking of, now the article was on Texas and Sarkeesian, but it was that Sarkisian, I think, in the same amount of time now is either tied or closely to be tied with Mac Brown at Texas. So we know what Mac did at Texas during that time. But no, Brett, I think you're on to something there. There's some old wounds that haven't healed yet, and unfortunately, that they come open. And I can tell you a great example of that real quick is the next Florida Gator to go into the basically what they've got is the Ring of Honor is one Urban Meyer. And guys, I can tell you right now, and we've heard this now for years, that very well may happen, and all may be, maybe kissing and making up, and all is well. But I can tell you, there are some of the big Gator boosters that don't want to see that up on the stadium. Okay,
but they loved him when he was winning those titles.
But when people say that to me, my answer is, well, now I just wanted to double check. Now they're not giving back any of those rings for those national championships, are they?
And a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of those well-heeled boosters, they get sometimes they purchase, but they get a ring as well.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah,
did you know that, Brian?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
I mean, there's rings everywhere at ring day at a lot of places. Some try to limit to just people that kind of had skin in the game, but big enough booster decide he wants one.
Why not?
Well, he can call Johnston's and have him one made.
And listen, guys, in this NIL atmosphere that we've got right now, some of these boosters may be saying, I had a little more than just a casual acquaintance with this team winning a championship.
Yeah. Nowadays they certainly deserve a ring.
Every one of them thinks their check's the one that got the championship.
Of course. Why not? And the coach is telling all of them that they're checking
sure
the
are.
one
Right.
that's
Good
winning
point.
them the
They sure are.
championship. So
couldn't have done it without your
I'm sure all
check.
those coaches are get them a ring. Bring an extra ring in to give to this booster. They love that. Brent, what do you make of this this college football commission with Nick Saban being the co-chair of it? What do you make of this?
Well, I mean, at this point, there's so many plates spinning right now. One of them would be obviously this house versus nation thing that's got to be settled sometime, depending on the judge, in the next few days. I know Tommy Tuberville he's either on it or he's talking about it. And I mean, Saban is. I mean, look, if you're looking for answers, and I'm not saying that he has all of them, but I mean, he's one guy that's got to be on that committee, and
he'll be listened to.
All this started was when Saban was at Alabama introducing President Trump, and they talked about what needs to be done with NIL and where all that goes. I mean, they still want badly to get help from Congress. The main reason that they're getting help from Congress, guys, as you know, is they're trying to create some kind of a situation to where they're either not sued or they're not sued as much as they have been. So that's going to be important.
They want antitrust exemption, and Ted Cruz is close to introducing that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, how that goes over, we don't know, but they are looking again for guardrails with this and trying to rein it in to some degree. I'm not sure that's ever going to happen at this point. I think there'll be some things that happen, such as contracts with players and things of that nature that will make a difference in this too. I mean, it certainly can't hurt to come up with some different ideas and to get some people behind it. Frankly, but at this stage of the game, I mean, it would only be a piece of it. It's not going to answer everything.
We got some TV news today at the upfronts. Yesterday was mostly NBC and Fox. Today was ABC and some ESPN. There's going to be more tomorrow. I think we'll get more. But on Saturday night, the primetime game opening weekend is going to be at Death Valley. No, not that one. The one at Clemson, South Carolina, 6:30 ABC, LSU against Clemson. And LSU hadn't been good at all on opening night lately.
Tell you one thing. That is very true because, I mean, LSU guys has lost like 6 openers in a row. They've lost a couple times to Southern Cal. They've
lost Mississippi State, COVID.
Yeah, twice to Florida State with that. So, yeah, it's going to be important for them. And I'm sure you guys saw this like I did. Josh Pate came out with and I guess everybody and their brother's doing it now, but a way early top 25. You know, as we get closer into the summer, this way early is not way early anymore. But and I believe he had Clemson number 1. So there's more excitement right now for Clemson than we've seen in a while.
Yeah,
more for Clemson than for LSU. You know, since that day of losing, that Ed Orgeron lost to Mississippi State, we haven't seen Bo Pelini since, have we? He just kept going, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah, yes, it's been. It's been rather quiet in the Pelini camp. Yes.
Yeah, it definitely has. Before that LSU Clemson game, Saturday afternoon, 2:30 on ABC, Alabama at Florida State. Big game for both those programs. Game 1 for the new season.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I will probably be at that game, and I expect probably temperature to top out in the high 50s.
Take a big hat.
Strong wind. Yeah, to say the least. But no, that the stadium will be done. There should be some excitement, and Florida State really said that's a big game for them. And the last thing Florida State needs is to get boat raced in that game from an angry Alabama team.
Yeah.
So for Alabama, you've got just so many questions. You know, with Ty Simpson at quarterback, they've got like 9 guys coming back on defense, and I think the offensive line will be better. So no doubt, it's a huge game for both of those teams. But
the defeated team will think that they're not going to win a game.
Really.
Yeah. Well.
Yes. But it will be toasty on that day, yes.
Yeah, it absolutely will be. Brent, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll do it again next Tuesday.
Good, guys. Can't wait. Always enjoy it. Take care.
Thank you, Brandon. Also, reminder tonight for Razorback fans at Ghost River starting at 5:30, the Razorback Roadshow is coming through town. $16 tickets at the door. John Calipari, one of his 2 appearances on the road show, Hunter Yurachek, and head Razorback football coach Sam Pittman in Memphis means a lot to him. I mean, those 2 Liberty Bowl wins are big for him.
Well, you shine him in the trophy case,
Well, think about where he'd be without them.
That's very true.
I mean, he loses that overtime to Kansas, or really wasn't that close against Texas Tech. Yeah. But Memphis has been good to him, and he'll be back here with the Razorbacks September 20th against the Tigers.
Yeah, try to get in the city, get acclimated to it before you come back and coach against them.
$16 at the door tonight at Ghost River. And I bet they'll call the Hogs a time or two.
Yes,
John Calipari coming off a Sweet 16, what they're doing in baseball. All in all, a pretty good sports year for the Razorbacks.
It's been a good sports year, and I think, going into it, we've talked a lot the last couple of weeks about what does it look like a year from now for North Carolina and their athletic program. We were having those conversations last year with Arkansas. What does it look like a year from now with this, athletic department? And, I think a really good year for all the sports. Obviously, incomplete right now for baseball, but so far so good.
We're talking 2025 college football, but 2026 already here at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. Head down to All-Star Chevy down Highway 78 and drive one of the all-new 26 Equinox. Do you want to drive a Silverado? They have them. Nobody has more new Silverados than they do at All-Star. First exit into Mississippi, Kraft Goodman Road, and you're there at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch where all the Chevys are. And May is your month to finance your new Silverado as low as 0.9. Yeah, that's less than 1%. 0.9. The zero is the key part there. 0.9. Your good credit deserves it, and you'll get it at All-Star Chevrolet from Drew to Priest and his great team there. If you're law enforcement, first responder, recent grad, a lot of those coming up, military, educator, healthcare worker, an instant extra $500 bonus back. All-Star with every pre-owned truck and SUV you can be looking for. If you don't see it on the lot, ask Jeff or Drew or any member of that great team down there, and they'll find it, and they'll find it fast. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star, and you'll get the most money back for it, whether you bought it there or not. Wherever this summer takes you, Drew and everyone at All-Star and Olive Branch wish you and your family happy and safe travels. Start those travels and something new to drive from All-Star Chevrolet. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Brett mentioned the scheduling for ESPN, getting a lot of schedule news from them for week 0 and 1 today. This is pretty much what we've gotten from them. Week 0, Saturday, August 23rd, 11 a.m. in Dublin. Gotta love the Dublin game. Iowa State versus Kansas State. Thursday, August 28th at that's got to be wrong. This is 4:30 Central Time. That's got to be a mistype one for Boise State in South Florida. That's got to be a mistype on this schedule or on this graphic that I'm seeing. But at least Thursday night.
Well, I hope it's not.
I mean, I hope it's not too. But there's no way that Thursday we're getting a 4:30 start between Boise State and South Florida.
I wouldn't think so because there are other games that night. And the timing
that would be weird.
What's timing anymore?
Exactly.
Though?
Later that night, Thursday, August 28th, 8 p.m. on ESPN, Nebraska versus Cincinnati. Friday the 29th, 7 p.m. on ESPN, Georgia Tech at Colorado. The Saturday triple header, 11 a.m. Syracuse versus Tennessee in Atlanta. 2:30 Alabama, Florida State, and then the 6:30 on ABC LSU at Clemson. Sunday a doubleheader starting on ESPN 2 o'clock Virginia Tech versus South Carolina, and then that night on ABC Notre Dame at Miami, and then Monday we'll get TCU and hopefully Bill Belichick's first game as head coach for Monday, September 1st, 7 o'clock on ESPN. So some good news coming out for college football.
Brian, it is 4:30. It's on the score page at 4:30
cow.
Central.
What in the world?
Boise at South Florida. That's a big game. That's a big game that impacts the Tigers.
It sure does. I mean, that is
an
AAC
perception.
That's a massive.
And the Tigers played South Florida.
Group of 5, group of 6, whatever it is now. That's a huge game for a team that could emerge as that group. I've been seeing this graphic, a lot, especially over the last hour. ESPN's really been pumping this graphic out, and I just saw Thursday night, and I just assumed, okay, you'll get a 6 o'clock start and then a 9 o'clock start. 4:30. That's crazy. I'm all for it. 2 thumbs up for
bring it on
for a 4:30 on a Thursday start time for Boise State and South Carolina. But getting a lot of news scheduling wise for a little bit of everything, especially NFL and college football. We need to get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about everything that happened last night in the NBA playoffs. We'll preview tonight's games as well. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Briggs Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Briggs Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Briggs can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Briggs Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Briggs Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or BriggsPowderCoating.com.
the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Totes. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free green egg grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with a high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow-smoke barbecue on us. But hurry, the special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
June is always a month of celebration. People are getting married, people are graduating, and those people need somewhere to do their celebrating. And we offer up Bell Tavern, Memphis' perfect downtown bar. You could take your group to a chain restaurant or bar, but those places don't have a tenth of the charm of Bell Tavern. Chains are sterile and impersonal. Bell Tavern is a cool oasis for most places. Signature cocktails, ice cold beer, and the friendliest staff in town. This is a chance for you to show off your knowledge of Memphis, to impress out-of-towners by taking them to the coolest bar they've been to in a long time. Unless, of course, they go to Bell Tavern.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 904-611-01. That's 904-611-01. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 904-611-01. That's 904-611-01. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 904-611-01. Bill at I Buy Houses.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Traffic building out of Midtown, pretty much on schedule. Actually, 240 South and South Parkway. It's increased even more on 40 East, passing Warford, Hollywood, continuing all the way over to White Station. As it gets busier here on 240, getting on to 385 Billmorris Parkway, continuing out towards Collierville. Weimer's Jewelry is your diamond engagement ring headquarters this coming bridal season, which is just around the corner. Go see them right now at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Well, the NBA playoffs, they have been a ton of fun, and last night continued that fun. It started with the Knicks and the Boston Celtics, a game where Boston came out and pretty much did what they did not do in games 1 and 2. They were knocking down shots. They were really locked in. Jason Tatum came out, had a massive first quarter, and you look up and Boston leads by 11 at the end of the first quarter after shooting 68% from the field, 64% from three. That continued into the second quarter, but then in the second half, here come the Knicks. It felt like, talked about earlier, they would get close, they'd go on about a 7-0 run. Boston would jump out to another double-digit lead. Then here comes another 7-0, 11-0 run from the Knicks. And then really late third quarter, early fourth quarter, that's when the Knicks really took advantage of it. And, after that, Jason Tatum goes down, and the rest was history for the Knicks.
And that Garden crowd, unlike Saturday, and I would have thought, but, Saturday afternoon versus a Monday night, so both of those are, even for New York, that's kind of detached, not really lubed up just right crowds. Saturday, the early deficit took them completely out.
Yeah.
It didn't last night.
Yeah.
At the end of the first quarter, they were not staggered from it.
Yeah, and I think I don't really know what goes into that because Boston was incredible. They were hitting pretty much every shot. I mentioned it. 68% from the field, 64% from three. 9 made threes in the first quarter for Boston. I mean, there are teams that just want to have 10 made threes at the end of the game.
To knock you out.
Exactly. And so, New York stayed in it, and the fan base stayed in it, and then you had that lead. They take the lead with 30 seconds left in the third quarter, their first lead since 28-27. So I mean, it was a while there where Boston was in complete control. Knicks able to come back and then really controlled the fourth quarter. Yeah, you get the injury to Jason Tatum, and it feels like New York, welcome to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah,
it sure does. And well, if it's against Indiana, that will conjure up a lot of fun from the past, 90s theatrics and give and take. Wonder if Spike Lee and Reggie Miller would sit by each other. Wonder what they're like with each other.
Well, it's a good question. Maybe we'll find out here.
It was
the next
heated,
round.
but a lot of that was showbiz and fun.
Yeah, they're showmen. They know the game. It's all entertainment. But no, I mean it will be a fun series if those are the two teams in there. Not the two teams you expected to be in there, but I do think two fun teams that would make for an entertaining, really enjoyable series. See who can punch their ticket to the finals.
Age-old question on the picks. Do you do it bracket form like we do NC tournament, or you do it series by series like we've kind of been doing it for years now? If we had done it bracket form, I mean 0 point and all the other zeros for the ping pong balls to line up would have had Indiana against the Knicks.
Yeah, I think with the 7-game series, I think better to do it round by round. With the just 1 game single elimination like the NCAA tournament, just fill it all out, see how it falls. But yeah, I do like the fact that we take it round by round because you're right. Nobody would have expected a Eastern Conference Finals between the Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. And who knows, Brett? All the Knicks fans running around saying we're winning the NBA Finals because of this trade in the offseason. They're one step closer to being there.
They sure are.
So, man, who knows?
But going to have a tough team to get by Indiana.
Exactly. And, we'll see what they can do tonight against Cleveland. Indiana's looked really good. And
what would be your finals prediction right now? I thought reset couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah.
24 hours ago, I thought we kind of got everything kind of back lined up right, but it's not close.
No, not at all. I'll go OKC out of the West, and I'll stay believing the Knicks out of the East. What a fun finals that would be.
TV doesn't mind that at all.
No, they would love it. They would absolutely.
Knicks the key part of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Knicks are great, and I think OKC.
When I say TV doesn't mind it, am I being a conspiracist? Because I don't want to be. After
I think if
knocking the conspiracists around.
I think if you were saying the NBA is making this the finals, so they would like it. I mean, just the fact that the NBA likes it. I mean, heck, Nico Harrison loved last night. Doesn't mean that it was rigged. I mean, just it's the way it fell out, and you can be excited about it. TV networks would be really excited if New York is in the NBA finals. Doesn't mean they have a hand in making them get there. But no, I would.
NYC versus OKC. Yeah, well, we'll get the big town, small town
you certainly
card
would.
Played, won't we?
You certainly would. But I don't mind either team.
I don't either.
If it is Indiana or New York,
I have no preference the rest of the way. No. I'm going to enjoy it how it falls out.
Yeah, no, I think that's the way to do it. But tonight, like I mentioned, we'll see Game 5 for Pacers in Cleveland. You got to feel really bad for Cleveland the way that this series has really played out with all the injuries.
Wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they were fantastic all year. Fantastic all season long, and now have just been really hit by the injury bug. And, we'll see tonight if they can, hold on to life. And obviously we're still waiting on the status of Donovan Mitchell. That will be a big one. Even if he plays, he will not be, anywhere near 100%, you would think. So, Indiana, great opportunity tonight. Maybe Cleveland can muster up enough to extend this to 6. I don't know.
Another thing in the conspiracy world that I've never liked. I've never been, and you're not either. I've never been the refs cheated us. Because I always ask, had 38 fouls on Team X and only 22. What's their motivation? Why would they be doing that?
it makes no sense.
Other than we make mistakes, that it's human beings doing it,
Sure.
and that sure happens. But I think if you're over 14 years old, blaming on the ref sounds really juvenile.
Yeah, no, I hate blaming it on the refs. And I thought we were, if Boston had run away last night, I thought we were going to get some people trying to yell, refs were on Boston's side. Because, it was super late in the second quarter before the Knicks even attempted their first free throw. And I was going, oh, man, there are going to be people that look at this and say, oh, man, the refs were in on Boston. But then ultimately, Knicks win the game. We don't even have to worry about that.
I'm repeating myself a lot. The NBA with a $77 billion new TV deal. You have to give credit. That's good. That's good for Memphis. We want the NBA to thrive and flourish. We want Memphis to do well. We want the Grizzlies to do well. So that is good for business. Why in the world would they risk that with any stuff going on? But they have to do a few things. Did you see what time the second game tipped last night?
Oh, I don't know exactly
Listed
what time
at 9
it was.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Ball in the air at?
Well, I know the first game ran a little long, so 9:20, 9:15?
6. 9:26.
Wow, okay. All right.
Come on, we got to do this.
Yeah, well. It's weird because some games they will start, we know it's about 10 minutes after no matter what the game is, but some playoff games they'll start 10 minutes after if the first game, and I think it's an ESPN thing and a TNT thing because I remember, I guess the night before or the day before, whenever it was, first game runs a little long and the second game's supposed to start, and it just started and you saw the little box in the top corner that says, hey, here's the score. You can go watch it on whatever channel. And then I guess TNT wants to see the full game, and so you have the first game run a little long last night, and so they're telling everyone last night in Golden State, hey, we're not doing anything until this first game ends. And so, you have the late tip, which, not that they care, it makes it later for the game to end last night because it was very late. I was ready to go to bed last night when that game ended.
$77 billion. Brian, do you remember a few years ago, it was either SEC Media Days 2021, the year after COVID, to get back to it. But that was so dominated by A&M in Texas. It might have even been 22 that I directly asked the commissioner, Greg Sankey. I asked him the age of big rights fees. Are we at peak? Right? You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Was that would that time frame be about right? 21, 22?
Yeah.
Well, $77 billion tells you it's not peak. What college football and NFL, what they're getting, not peak. And I think his answer, for some it might be, but for popular sports like ours, even meaning college football, it's sure not. I can remember as far back in the 80s, people were talking about the end of rights fees.
Yeah.
And they never seem to peak.
That's right, but we always think, we've reached the cap, because the money we can't even fathom this type of money being thrown around.
You like Formula One, don't you?
I'll watch it.
Okay.
Every now and then.
What do you think their number is of viewers so far this year?
It's really good.
It's real good.
I don't know what it is, but it's really, really good.
Around 2 million. UFL's around 850.
Yeah.
They hadn't cracked 1 million this year. UFL double what Live is doing.
Wow. All right. Shout out Live, I guess. Or not shout out Live, I don't know. But I did not know that. That's crazy.
But UFL is still pretty representative in drawing. Now, hadn't gone over 1 million yet this year.
Yeah, no, but you're right. Every weekend it's drawing pretty good numbers, and I know a lot of people talking about the ESPN, ABC, Fox, which channel you go on and how that affects things. But no, they have been drawing really well.
One thing I don't think it drives attendance one person, and I don't know that it drives your rating one person. You got to get your A team on site. Kirk Menefee and Cladd aren't on site. Did you know that?
No, I knew that talking to Eli. I did not know that before. I had no idea, but I came to find that out.
Different places.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's insane.
I think that just, again, it doesn't sell one more ticket to the stadium. and it probably doesn't attract another viewer. I just think it screams Bush League. And UFL is not Bush League.
Mm-hmm, yeah, well, and ESPN, they've got their guys on hand for every game that they do
sure do
in the UFL.
And we're in Memphis Sunday.
Mm-hmm, so you would think that you would like both of your networks to do that, but for whatever reason, ESPN does it, and Fox does not. But you're right. Ratings have been really good for the UFL. Well, we need to get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Sports 56 and 95 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work in them by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
The Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation plans to close a hazardous waste container storage permit to Milan Arms Ammunition Plant. TDEC invites the public to submit comments during a 45-day period ending June 27, 2025. For further information, see the public notice in today's edition of the Mirror Exchange or call the Division of Solid Waste Management in Nashville at 615-532-0780. The draft permit closure may also be viewed at the Mildred G. Fields Memorial Library or the TDEC Environment Field Office on Hollywood Drive in Jackson.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to the retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business. Sportstime on Sports 56 and 95 once again on Records Irving and Brian Davis.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
I don't know how you could have a segment called Big Number of the Day where you bring up big numbers from the sports world and not have 1.8% as your big number today. The odds for the Dallas Mavericks to get the number 1 overall pick, they end up getting the number 1 pick. That's really all I have for my big number today. 1.8. I mean, it's just only 2 teams had worse odds than the Dallas Mavericks to get the number 1 overall pick. It was Chicago and Atlanta. Dallas jumps all the way up to number 1. And in that matter, you could go 26.3% for the Spurs, who had 26.3% to jump into the top 4. They do that and land the number 2 pick. So as we talked about earlier, good luck, Grizzlies, because now you get to see a whole lot of, I guess, Cooper Flagg, and then potentially whoever the Spurs take at number 2, or maybe a trade to bring somebody else in for the Spurs to add to that young core.
And here comes San Antonio.
Yeah, I mean, and that's who I mean, cool, Dallas won the draft lottery last night, but I care more about number 2 and what San Antonio could do with that, because I think they have a ton of options now. They could go and draft a guy at number 2. I do not really agree with the mock drafts. I would take Ace Bailey if I was just them taking the pick at 2. They could trade and fall back, but I think they're in a great position with the number 2 overall pick. Some of those contracts they have to maybe go out there and be in the Giannis sweepstakes and try to take a big swing.
I think my favorite news of the day, and Brian, I swear, I've called for it for years. Why not that first full Thursday, not the week 0 Thursday, like week 1, why not have a 3 or 3:30 game? Well, this is 4:30.
Yeah.
I guess, and it'll be 5:30 Central Time, played in
South Florida.
In Tampa, right?
Tampa, yeah.
Boise, South Florida at 4:30 our time during us.
I mean, hey, sign me up. I mean, I love live action during our show, but I mean, crazy. Like I said, when I was reading that, I'd seen it all over the place, had never even looked at the time, and then when I'm reading times and I saw 5:30 Eastern time, Boise State at USF, I was like, this has got to be wrong, and then only to find out that it is absolutely true.
And I recognize it is a real disruption for everyone anywhere to move those times, because they are school first. I know all that.
Sure.
I do, and I appreciate that. But I have begged for that next day, that Friday the 29th, one of these games, whether it's I'll use Ole Miss Georgia State, I'll use Kentucky Toledo, Georgia Marshall, Florida Long Island. Why not 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon?
Yeah, I think
it's Labor Day weekend. Most campuses by 3 o'clock that Friday, not ghost towns, but a lot of people going home the first time or whatever. It would be cleared out, and somebody play ball at that time. Yeah. Oklahoma, Illinois State.
Why not? You know, one of those games that, you know, all the games that you've really listed, most of the games you've listed have been games that in kind of a night slate or a weekend slate, a Saturday slate, would get overlooked. But if you put it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it would be a lot more people would be watching it at the very least.
And I contend for somebody like say Kentucky. Sure. Well, all right, we do it. We're the ones that do it. And Kentucky Stadium, I don't know if it's square in the middle of campus. I've been there a couple of times, but it's not square in the middle. I know that. But anyway, so I don't know how much disruption would be. You do that at 3 o'clock, and you could sell Kentucky on. Then you've got an extra day before next week in a conference game against Ole Miss.
Right. Oh, no, absolutely. I mean,
you could sell Florida on Long Island. You got an extra day before playing South Florida at the Swamp the next week.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. I'm all for it.
Arkansas against Alabama A&M.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd love it. Just mean more for us, you know.
Probably just got in trouble with every chancellor in the SEC.
Well, you know.
It's a nice move, isn't it?
Who cares? You know?
16 out of 16.
Who cares? I think it's a great idea. I mean, and I'm shocked we're getting it. I really am.
my big number is number 10. It'll be tomorrow. It won't be tonight, but tomorrow in the first game of the doubleheader, the Cardinals will be going for their 10th straight win playing the Phillies tomorrow afternoon. The Cardinals have won 10 straight 6 other times in the Cardinals' storied history. They've won 11 in a row 3 times, 12 in a row twice, never just on the 13 number, 14 in a row in 1935, and just 4 years ago, remember, late season run when they won the 17 in a row.
Yeah, that's
Can't win 17 in a row until you get to 10 in a row.
That's a great point. And, look out. They're hot, and it seems like everybody in the lineup is stepping up. And
if they sweep that doubleheader tomorrow, Bryant,
oh, man.
Convinced Cardinals never lose another game.
Well, and the beauty of all of this is the first game is around noon, so it will be done by the time we start at 3. Second game is later in the evening, so we will be right there in the middle. If they win that first one, just the idea of them sweeping the doubleheader, I think, will be enough for you tomorrow afternoon. And then, good Lord, on Thursday, if they do complete the doubleheader,
never lose another game.
Well, yeah, then just throw everything out. It's all hands on deck. Cardinals to the World Series, just like you predicted in before the season started.
Yeah, no homer pick at all, was it?
Absolutely not.
Look at the standings.
Hey,
prove me wrong.
They speak for themselves.
Being announced on scheduling, weeks 0 through 3 for college football. All the TV times will be announced on Thursday, May 29th, and on Thursday, June 5th, the entire bowl schedule, that of course will include the Liberty Bowl, will be announced on Thursday, June 5th.
Heck yeah. I love all this news we're getting. All the scheduling news. It makes me feel like we're making progress. We're getting closer to the football season. So it is a lot of fun. We got to wrap up our second hour. And when we return, we're hitting the links. We're talking golf. Doug Bell from PGA Tour Radio, CBS Sports. He'll join us. We'll talk the tour. We'll also talk the PGA Championship that gets started here in just a couple days. We'll do all that next on Sports Time.
Extraordinary events come once in a blue moon, and right now, even the most extravagant luxuries are well within reach. The one and only May sale is back at Sissy's Log Cabin, and you can save up to 50% on nearly everything in the store. This is your chance to get the service, selection, and experience that makes you feel like family. But hurry, the best pricing of the year ends May 31st. Don't miss the one and only May sale at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Pools, and more pools. Yes, it is pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure is already booking pool installs, so you need to buy now and get on that list. 24-foot pools start at $19.99 install. Liners are starting at $2.99. You're going to need some pool accessories, so they're all up to 20% off. Not quite ready for a pool? That's fine. Get a 5 or 6 person hot tub starting at under $7,000. You can also go for a swim spa or perhaps a cold plunge tub. Those are now $2,000 off. Get patio furniture up to 50% off on select sets. Buy your pool now. Get on that install list. Mention this commercial, and your install is free. It's underlined in bold print, so you know it's big. It's pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant objective feedback, hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 for you, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting a little bit heavier over here on 240 East at Mill Branch as you make your way out to 385 Bill Morris Parkway, headed on out into Collierville. Still moving at the moment on 240 East there at Poplar up through the Midtown area. Expect that to get a little bit busier in the next few minutes, especially on I-40 around Chelsea. Dandelions, crabgrass, Lawn Solutions says not a problem. Call Lawn Solutions here in Memphis, 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Club Safety. Once again,
You say you stand by your man. Tell me something.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios, and joining us now to talk the PGA Tour and the PGA Championship later this week, Doug Bell from PGA Tour Radio and CBS Sports. He joins us now. Doug, thanks so much for joining us. Last time we talked to you, we were gearing up for the Masters, and the big question was, would Rory be able to pull it off? And finally, he was able to do it. What was that like, seeing Rory McIlroy after years and years of questioning when will he be able to get it done? Finally getting it done this year at the Masters.
Hey, Brian, it's pretty darn exciting. And, Brett, great to be with you again, too, my friend. I still think 1986 was the most exciting Masters, at least in my lifetime. There's been a lot of good ones, but I think this year was number 2. And the way Rory, he had it won, he lost it, he had it won, he lost it. I think he had 4 winners and 3 losers in that final 9 holes, and he ultimately came out with it. And he's the talk of the town in Charlotte, guys, obviously, with his success at Quail Hollow. He's the talk of the town. Can he go 2 for 2 in the majors? That's the storyline over here so far, other than the rain, of course.
Doug, thank you so much for being with us and at the Masters. I'm sorry I missed it. I bet you knew it. I just didn't realize. I didn't appreciate enough, and you saw it with his reaction. Man, the guy was tormented by this, wasn't he?
Yeah, he really was. He's so good at disguising things, and he's such a good talker, and that's kind of what we know him for, aside from this incredible resume that he's built. And he's only 35 years old, but he's just such a good interview, and we kind of get lost in the vocabulary that he has with an Irish accent. But yeah, amidst all that, Brett was a guy who just wanted it so badly, and obviously that has played a factor over a decade, and he almost let it go again, and that's what made it even more compelling. And that's the one he really wanted, Brett. And it's interesting. All these guys, they'll take any major championship, right? But I think ultimately they all want a green jacket. And it's interesting because this week at the PGA Championship, the field is so much stronger than the Masters field. But yet that's the tournament that we all watch. the best ratings, and obviously it's just the most compelling. And maybe it's because it's the first, and certainly Augusta National has something to do with it. But pretty darn special. And all I know is, guys, what happened at Augusta now has added even more intrigue to the PGA Championship, which, by the way, since it's been moved to May, has really climbed the ladder of importance and excitement in major championship golf.
I agree. I love it in May. I was a little bit reluctant to it. I kind of liked it as Glory's last shot. And selfishly, Doug, I liked it because I knew the 72nd hole at the PGA Championship got played, there was no pretense around it. It was football season.
Yeah, right.
Then, but I like it for no other reason. The number one reason I like it, the biggest reason I like it, is it helped elevate our tournament in August with the playoffs, and now we have the Tour Championship in March, the Masters in April, the PGA Championship in May, the U.S. Open June, Open Championship July, and the playoffs, and ultimately the Tour Championship that crowns the big winner in August, early September. I like how this schedule flows. Do the players like it?
Yeah, the players love it. And then every 2 years, obviously, we had the President's Cup last September, and now we have the Ryder Cup. Brett Bryant. I mean, and I know we're all football fans. We all love it, right? It's part of our DNA where we grew up. But that Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black in New York City with that crowd, it is going to be raucous. It will be. And this isn't hyperbole either. I interviewed Jim Bones Mackay yesterday on my podcast, the old Gabbox podcast, by the way. And he agrees. He thinks that Ryder Cup at Bethpage in New York City is going to be arguably the biggest golf event, professional golf event we've had in maybe, well, since Tiger was dominating 20 years ago. I mean, think about that now. I mean,
it can get off the rails in New York.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be wild.
Will our crowd turn on Rory that week, because we had the whole golf world, in pulling every step along the way at the Masters? Does he suddenly become the bad guy come Bethpage?
Wow, Brett, what a great question. I haven't been asked that, and now that I'm thinking about it, I think the easy answer, it's New York City. It's the Ryder Cup. Yes, they will turn on Rory. They turn on everybody that they're not rooting for, right? I don't care who it is or how nice the guy is.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you got the other jersey on, it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, when it's USA versus anybody, that's what it comes down to. Well, we talked a lot about Rory McIlroy. He's been the big story this year on the PGA Tour, especially winning the Masters. The other big story, though, has been Justin Thomas getting his first win in a really long time, playing really well. What have you seen from him the last couple of weeks gearing up to another major?
Well, it's a guy who it happens a lot with these superstar golfers. JT is a superstar, 16 wins in his career, 2 major championships, and a stalwart on multiple Ryder Cup teams, as we've discussed, the Ryder Cup. But what I've seen is a guy who's had a resurgence in his career. He got married, had a baby. He's had some outside business interests, including golf course architecture, designed a course with Jack Nicklaus. Riches beyond his wildest dreams, and he's trying to, it takes a while to adjust, and it does take away from the games of these guys. I don't think there's any question. And now he's refocused. We saw him, he had a chance to win Valspar down at Innisbrook at the end of the Florida swing and let it go. 2 bogeys, last 3 holes, Victor Hovland wins. But again, it was just like, wait a minute, JT's close. And then when he won the RBC Heritage and won in impressive fashion with the birdie on the extra hole against Andrew Novak, another guy who may be on the Ryder Cup team, by the way. I think what we're seeing, and then JT last week had a chance to win. It's hard to win every week, but he had a chance last week. So to answer your question, he's playing the best he has in 3 years since he won the PGA Championship at Southern Hills in Tulsa. And guys, here's the deal with these PGA Championships and all these major championships. It's harder to win now than ever before. The competition, the difference between number 1 and 100 is so razor thin. It's just hard. We're not going to have any no-name winners anymore. The Wayne Grady's or the Sean McKeel's, they're not going to win any majors anymore. It's going to come down to really a couple of dozen guys every major championship, and JT is one of them. And I think having won here his first PGA Championship at Quail Hollow, even though it was in August, it was a different time of year. He loves the golf course, and I think he and Rory and Scheffler and the usual suspects stealing line from Casablanca, they will be on that first and second page of the leaderboard come Sunday, final 9 holes.
Doug Bell with us on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, on site at the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow all week in Charlotte for PGA Tour Radio and CBS Sports. Doug, you mentioned the PGA was at one time kind of known for the unlikely winner. Memphis and Sean McKeel got his in 2003 at Oak Hill. I call it the Dow Finsterwald Championship. he won, Dave Marr won, Bob Rosberg won, Rich Beam way back a million years ago, Vic Gezzi. You think that type player has no shot?
Yes, I just don't. And again, the top guys are all so close. Because of a lot of things, the equipment, the golf ball, they all work out the same way. They've all come through these college programs where they've gone against, top competition, and when they come out, they're ready to rock and roll. And this all stems from Tiger, who had obviously just this drastic effect on the professional game in so many ways. And even though he's no longer playing, Tiger Woods still has an effect. But yes, the top guys are the top guys for a reason. Some of these young guys maybe break into the top 30, like Andrew Novak, for example. Nobody knew about this young guy from Wofford College and how he's in the top 30, and he's going to play in the Tour Championship. But he's one of the guys who has an opportunity. But yeah, I just think, and listen, go down the names, guys. Patrick Cantlay hasn't won a major. Victor Hovland hasn't won a major.
Sam Barnes.
Finau. These guys have not. Tommy Fleetwood, they haven't won majors, and they're really good players. So yeah, the no names, the long shots. I just don't. I will be very shocked if anybody we haven't heard of comes off the radar screen and wins a major championship anymore. It is so hard to win, not just a major, but a PGA Tour event, guys. I mean, it is tough to get it done out there. And that's what I'm seeing every year.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned one of the big storylines today has been the rain. Is there worry that rain could make an impact, could play a factor this weekend?
Well, Brian, it has been a factor already. The players went out today, and some of the guys got to play on the golf course. Most everybody got in the range, and then the rain came hard this afternoon. More expected off and on tomorrow. The actual tournament, though, Thursday through Sunday, it looks pretty good. There's a chance for a pop-up shower here and there, like it is in most areas of the Southeast. But I think the tournament will be fine. It's just, when you get this much rain right now, and, I love people, they have the suction system under the greens. So, well, okay, the golf course is going to be wet. There's no doubt about it, and it'll play. It's a home run hitter's ballpark anyway. But with the rain, it will only enhance the chances the guys who hit it a long way, i.e. Rory, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka. Here we go again, guys, the usual suspects, right? But
they sure
the
are.
Long hitter, they'll have an advantage at Quail Hollow. And again, it's interesting, guys. Rory McIlroy, we opened talking about him. But this golf course, he's won here 4 times, by the way, and it sets up for a guy with a high arching draw shot from right to left. And that's what he does better than anybody. And so if there was ever a golf course that was built for a golfer, it was Quail Hollow and Rory McIlroy. And so that's why he's the favorite going in. He said it's his favorite golf course, and that's not hyperbole. He means it, because when he lines up on that tee, all 18 holes, it sets up perfectly with the way he hits the golf ball. And when you got as talented as him, and he has a comfortability factor on every hole, my goodness, he'll be a factor. Don't get me wrong. He'll be a factor come Sunday. That first page of the leaderboard, when CBS keeps throwing up the leaderboard, Rory McIlroy's name will be somewhere in those top 10 names on that first page. With 9 holes to play.
You live and have worked forever in a great golf area in Birmingham. Shoal Creek hosted 1990, first PGA I ever went to when Wayne Grady won down there. Memphis is a great golf town, but you may be in the capital of great golf towns in Charlotte and great golf states in North Carolina. You go town to town, week to week, and I know you have friends in all of them, and you have a good time in all of them. But Charlotte and Quail and that owner and that course and that state, it may be at the top. Where do you rank it?
It's pretty close to being at the top. I still listen. I'm a Southern kid like you guys, but I got to pay a little deference to New York and that area up there. I mean, those golf courses. And listen, because of the weather, you don't play them all year round, right? Like we do in the South. But it's pretty special up in that New York area. Chicago is incredible, guys.
For sure.
I mean, it is unbelievable. But North Carolina, you're right, is special. And remember, Bryson DeChambeau won at Pinehurst, the U.S. Open last summer, and here he is back in North Carolina. Another golf course that sets up well for him. But Quail Hollow is so special, guys. I love the city of Charlotte, number one. I love Memphis. I mean, all these southern cities, I feel at home. But Charlotte really is a cool place. And obviously they have an NFL team, an NBA team. They want to get an MLB team, but they have this gem, this absolute gem, Quail Hollow. And, man, you mentioned 1990, Brett, and those early years, 84 and 90 at Shoal Creek, that's when the corporate tents were introduced to professional golf. The PGA really was PGA of America was the first entity to do that. And everybody kind of –
Hall Thompson was that smart.
Hall Thompson, the late, great Hall Thompson, yeah. But Brett, you would not believe the corporate build-out at Quail Hollow. It's a city in itself. It is unbelievable, the build-out at Quail Hollow, and it just blends in perfectly. This magnificent golf course, and then virtually every hole has some form or fashion of a corporate build-out where people are just celebrating the game of golf, celebrating being with family and friends and church members, and they all have flat screen TVs and great food and fun. It's just it is really awesome. It really, really is. And the PGA of America, give them credit. They have taken it to another level, and they know how to do it, man, at Quail Hollow. When they signed the deal with the PGA of America to host multiple PGA championships and Ryder Cups, the PGA of America and Quail Hollow, they knew exactly the partnership that they were getting into, and it's pretty darn special.
Yeah. And speaking of special, I mean, look at this. Look at this group we'll get in the first round: Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele, and Scotty Scheffler in the first two rounds. I mean, that is 1, 2, and 3 in the world rankings. That is an incredible group.
It is, and that's another thing that the PGA of America has done over the years. They've always had the top three guys, and the crowds are enormous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to be off the charts. And you know what? It kind of takes a little pressure off some of the other guys because the crowd is going to be with them. And, when you walk around and follow a threesome like that for 5.5 hours, 5 hours and 45 minutes, you don't necessarily go back out onto the golf course and follow somebody else. And so I think with the herd, with that group, which is going to be fantastic, I think it helps other players because I don't care who you are, whether you're Rory, Scotty, or the X-Man, when you play in front of that kind of crowd, I mean, there's a lot going on, guys, and it has an effect on the way they play. I think they need to survive the first day or so. And obviously the draw depends, the weather. You may get a good draw, bad draw, early or late tee time, depending on how it goes with the weather. But yeah, I mean, that crowd, while special, it has an effect on the players inside the ropes. And with the weather guys, with all the people, if you hit off the beaten path into that rough where the crowd has been trampling through it, you're going to get some pretty nasty lies.
Yeah.
What's the winning score and who wins?
Wow. It's interesting. Brett, I think it's going to play tough because it's going to be set up that way. The rough is going to be more significant than it usually is when they play a PGA Tour, a regular tour event here, which is now the Truist Championship. I think the winning score will be somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 14 under par, which will be a pretty good score. And the guy I really like, we mentioned the guys who've never won a major, right? The guy who is trending, who's quietly had a very good year, 4 top 10s, and he's only played 10 events. He's picking and choosing when he plays. Patrick Cantlay. And I really like and listen, last week at the Tourist Championship at Philadelphia, he was right there. He made a little run there on Sunday and then kind of ran out of holes, ran out of steam. But it wouldn't shock me. Remember the X-Man last year, best player, never won a major, won at Valhalla. Now Cantlay is one of those 4 or 5 guys, best player yet to win a major, even though he's won a FedEx Cup. I think Cantlay may be my guy this week. You can get good odds, by the way. I'm always looking for that guy with good odds.
Yeah, you mentioned Tiger really. I mean, he really spawned all these guys. Every one of these guys. Tiger had Jack Nicklaus's poster up and had that major total circle, and that's where he wanted to get all these guys. They wanted to be Tiger Woods. They didn't want to be Jack Nicklaus. They didn't want to be Bobby Jones. They didn't want to be Phil. They wanted to be Tiger Woods. Yep. Which one of them has that tear your eyes out, do anything to win, I got to win 30 majors mentality? Who has that Tiger had?
Well, again, Brett, good questions. What'd you save up all your good questions for my interview or what?
Always, Doug. I know I got to bring A game with you.
I really, of all the guys that I follow out there, and they're some of the best that have ever played, obviously Rory, career Grand Slam, et cetera, there isn't one guy I've run into that has Tiger's mentality.
May never be another one.
There's never been a guy like that will just. He was the absolute grinder, guys. I've covered him so many times in his heyday he's turned a 2-over round into an even par round. He's turned an even par round into a 2-under round. I mean, he was the ultimate grinder. And even when he was trying to make a cut, there were moments where in order to keep that magnificent cut streak alive, he would go out there with 2 holes to play, needing 2 birdies, and he would get them. I mean, he was cutthroat. And he really did have a football mentality, or some of these guys in the NBA who go at each other hard. He had that mentality that most golfers, in fact, maybe Jack, and there were some others, Ben Hogan certainly, if we're going to go back to yesteryear. But there really isn't a modern-day player who has that mentality. And that goes back to what I said before. I just don't see a long shot winning, and I don't see a lot of these guys winning multiple major championships. And you know why? It's just the money is so outrageous nowadays. I think it creates softer athletes. Not only the professional golf scene, but other sports as well.
Yeah.
And I just don't see a lot of killers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a negative. It's just, that just tells you what I think about Tiger. He was pretty special. There's only one guy that I know that's ever been like him on the golf course.
Yeah, that is certainly right. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun this weekend with the PGA Championship. Doug, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy this weekend, and we'll catch back up with you soon.
Yeah, see you soon, guys. And we're all going to eat barbecue together in Memphis in August, right?
Book it.
You better believe it a couple times.
There you go. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Doug.
You got it, Doug. Thanks.
Doug Bell joining us to talk the PGA Championship. Get started this weekend on Thursday. Of course, we'll make our picks tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock. I'm sure it will not get ugly during golf picks with the second major of the year.
It's a gentleman's sport. We'll keep it that way like we have all year, although a couple of times it has got close to some boundaries, but we'll try to reel it in. Now, Landon has a decided lead. Mm-hmm. Almost can't blow it.
That's right.
Except, remember, this week, it is double payout, and if your shot, OWGR 21 or up, hits, that's quad.
That's right.
That would be about $17 million.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that big lead could go away fast, Landon, or could grow so big
It could.
We're just playing out the string the rest of the year,
That's true.
Brian.
That's true. It feels like I need, if I'm gonna come back and beat Landon, I feel like I need Dallas Maverick lottery type luck to do that, or rig
Happens
it,
every year at the
however you
NBA
wanna do
lottery,
it.
and never in the golf
Exactly.
pits.
Whether I need to rig the system or if I just get lucky, however you view it, feels like it's going to take that for me to top Landon. But we'll see.
Well, you will pick first tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
You want to give any hints?
It'll probably be one of those guys in that 1, 2, 3 group.
I think it's in the 1-2 group.
I think you're probably right. And I think it might be
Don't you, Landon?
the 2 of the 1-2 group. I don't know.
I think we're honing in on those kind of picks now.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the PGA and love watching live from last
Mm-hmm.
night. Boy, I said closing. Last night was a great sports night, and tonight setting up to really be even better.
Yeah,
I think the NBA games tonight could be great, and live from and all the baseball.
Absolutely. No, it's a lot of fun, and so we'll build up, and it'll certainly be a blast Thursday morning when it all gets started for the PGA Championship.
I like the PGA Championship. It took me a year or two to get used to it in May, because I'd been to it a bunch in August, and I swear I knew whether it was after the final round on Sunday or if I left whenever I left, I would constantly go, all right, that's it. It's football season.
Here we go, football season. Now, we're kind of the it's football season. And once you're done in Memphis, I mean,
we sure are.
It's like the next week is we got games going on. So that's nice at least. But no, it will be a lot of fun this weekend. Before we get to a break, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, the 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. And don't forget about the Defender. Available in multiple models to fit your needs, the Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com, but head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Total membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time. Free gun rentals with purchase of ammo and members lounge access. Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road, TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgess. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous? Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens.
Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet to steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meat. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper is more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with the perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it. A beloved family affair is still going strong since 1948. Rendezvous.
Corky's barbecue. Cooking it up. Down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like a good old day.
Hey, y'all, Jimmy Stone over here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering is our specialty. Indians and trusted Corky's to cater their events for 40 years. As we make it easy to eat and delicious for your guests. Whether it's 50 people or thousands, our experienced team comes to your location, sets up, serves, and ensures everyone enjoys a Corky's all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet, starting at only $7.99 per person. You can't beat it. With 40 years of experience, it's easy to see why customers choose Corky's time and time again for all of their catering needs. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to book us for your next event.
Encore flavor. Corky's barbecue.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 904-61101. That's 904-61101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 904-61101. It's 904-61101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 904-61101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 11 to join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCMSA church in downtown Memphis. Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. The police have been on the scene of a couple of minor wrecks out here in the last few minutes. A little bit of volume, but hadn't been too bad actually on 240 as you get on to 385 Billmore. Parkway still on time as you head out towards Collierville. A little bit of traffic. Volume has developed over here in the last few minutes. 40 eastbound right at Sycamore View Road headed out past Germantown Parkway out into Fayette County. Weimer's Jewelry wants you to know they are your diamond engagement ring headquarters this coming bridal season, which is just around the corner. Go see them now at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. We got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending and a lot of things trending right now. But maybe the two biggest things trending right now. The first one being that we're already starting to see some guys take their name out of the NBA draft. Boogie Flan, who is at the Combine, he is withdrawn from the NBA draft. He will not participate in the remainder of the Combine, and now he will turn his attention to the transfer portal. He's a guy that declared and entered his name in the transfer portal. So now he'll look for a new school and now becomes another big name that is still in the transfer portal, and we'll see what type of teams go after him and where he could possibly end up.
We will, and a lot of Razorback fans getting ready, already gathering downtown at Ghost River for the Razorback Roadshow tonight. And we'll see if Boogie Flan will be back with them or out on the open market, as a lot are, and where he would end up. He would immediately start wherever he goes.
Yeah, and I saw one report, and I'm not going to be able to find it now, that said he was looking at other schools, so I don't know if that necessarily means that Arkansas is not an option to return to Arkansas. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I know there have been a lot of rumors about Florida maybe going out and bringing him in. And certainly with what they had last year and what it feels like they're bringing back at Florida, that would be a huge get for the Gators. So, and that's a huge name coming back to college basketball, and a big name that's going to be in the transfer portal. We'll see a lot of teams going after him.
Wonder what his rate would be.
Yeah,
PJ Haggerty's out there. You can ask.
Sure.
$65 million.
Sure, you can ask for whatever you want. It's will a team give you that? And we've talked about it where PJ Haggerty goes out there and says he wants $4 million, and now depending on who you listen to and what you're hearing, it's anywhere from $3 million to $3.5, but doesn't seem like anybody is touching $4 million for him. So yeah, I mean you can request whatever you want. Speaking of PJ Haggerty, I should say I noticed this yesterday, and we didn't have enough time to bring this up. PJ Haggerty, for the for the scrimmage rosters that came out yesterday for the combine, it has everybody's name, where they went to college, their height, weight, and then it has their position. Should be noted, PJ Haggerty listed as a shooting guard for the NBA draft combine, which it feels weird that he's listed as a shooting guard. I don't know how that's decided what you're listed at, but seeing as he has made it known that he wants to be primarily a point guard at his next school, it's a little weird that he is listed as shooting guard for the draft combine.
I bet Ringo Starr wanted to be listed as lead vocalist, but he wasn't.
No. He certainly was not lead vocalist.
Damn good drummer.
Oh, man, fantastic drummer. But yeah,
leave the singing to John and Paul.
That's exactly right. So, a little interesting thing there. Here's another thing with PJ Haggerty. Jonathan Gavoni tweeted this out. Jason Munns retweeted it. Best shooting at the NBA Combine drills. This is a composite of all attempts so far. Mark Sears shooting 69%. Chaz Lanier shooting 63%. PJ Haggerty shooting 60%. So, good shooting day for PJ Haggerty in the first day of the on-court workouts at the NBA Combine. And we'll see. We'll be able to watch it tomorrow with the scrimmages and see how he looks there. And then ultimately it feels like shortly after that, we'll get some news on him if he's going to stay or if he's going to pull his name out.
Brian, I'm sorry that I do this to you. I almost turn everything into a hard one, and I hate that I do that to you. Out there in the open market, who would you rather have, Boogie Flan or PJ Haggerty?
I would, oh man. If you're saying just point guard, I'd probably go Boogie. I'd go Boogie.
Well, you were on the right track.
Sure.
You're on the right track. What's your need? They're really different.
Yeah. No, they're super different.
So it's really not. Well, you'd love to have both.
Sure.
Then you got the best backcourt in the country.
Yeah. But I think if I was forced to,
would you put Boogie on the ball that much though?
I think you would. I think he'd be fine on the ball. I know he had issues at Arkansas, but I think he'd be fine. Another year, and kind of developed a little bit more. I think he'd be fine. If I was forced to take just one player out of those two, I'd probably take Boogie. I think he has a higher ceiling.
Haggerty's more proven.
He is. He and that's the thing. That's the thing is with Boogie Flan, it's a lot of unknown. But I'd probably.
He was in there. The whole availability thing. He was in there more.
He
Flan couldn't hurt. He couldn't help. He got hurt.
No, not at all. And so and
he was hurt. It was because he came back. He was not.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't out of here chasing.
It would have been a completely different story if he hadn't returned. Then speculate all you want. But we'll see with PJ Haggerty how he performs tomorrow in the scrimmages, and then ultimately the decision he makes. Tiger basketball news: Memphis announced this. Jason Munns reporting this 2 hours ago. Memphis announces the signing of 6'8" Lane College forward Mason Matthews to the roster. So there's another guy added to the roster. A guy, stretch 4, shot about 43% from 3 last year at Lane. So now, and Jason Muntz has pointed this out in pretty much every story he has written about guys that the Tigers have added. If the House settlement goes through, scholarships would expand to 15 from the 13. But right now, at just 13, only one scholarship available for the Tiger basketball program.
And the House settlement, and the House part of that, it's a she, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
A swimmer at Arizona State,
I believe
right?
so, yeah. I think that is right.
And every time they think they're close, they're not close.
No.
And legal fees remain undefeated.
Oh, of course. That's the biggest thing, right? It's always legal fees. I mean, the life of anybody in
life
law,
of college
I guess.
sports now. It's why yesterday I took the kind of the slap at the head of the NCAA wanting to get involved. No, you had your chance, and you wrecked college sports.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Charlie Baker. It was his predecessor and even people before that. But same ilk.
Oh, yeah. No, I just love that. Hey, we need somebody. Hey, I'll do it. We calling for volunteers? I'm over here.
Well, that entity or that group of people, they love being on another committee.
That's right. Oh, yeah. The more committees, the better.
I mean, they're kind of professional board members. Just go town to town, shake hands, get that director fee, and move on.
That's right. Oh man, yeah. But we'll see. Hopefully, hopefully we'll get good news on that. I would love to see these rosters expand and more scholarships.
NIL has helped college basketball.
Yeah, it has. It definitely has. It definitely has.
There's no way Boogie Flan doesn't stay in Olway.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is, you look at it for a lot of these guys, they're sitting there saying, okay, if I'm now projected to be late first, maybe even a second round guy, I can go back to college, and I know for a fact I can get just as much, if not more, get more film, then we'll try this again next year, and maybe I'll be a higher draft pick, but I know I can go and command that type of money. I know the big talk right now is Yaxel. We've heard the amount of money that Michigan could give to him, if he honors his commitment there, but he is obviously a guy that it feels like is rising on draft boards. I mentioned it earlier. Tankathon, whether you like Tankathon or not, they at least have him mocked in the late first. I know Sports Illustrated put their big board out a day or two ago. They have him in the top 30. So, I mean, that's a guy that this week is very big for him, and he's going to have a big decision to make, and it's all going to come down to what type of money can I make at Michigan? What type of money can I make depending on where I get drafted in the NBA? And so if you're a guy like Yaxel, you're trying to make sure for a fact in about a range of 2 to 5 where you're going in the draft, because that could mean a big difference in money and if you should stay or if you should go back to college.
All right, here's another one, almost in high hard one for him.
All right.
Coach Nick Saban's going to be in charge of the presidential commission.
Sure.
But it's I know it's mostly about football, and I'm a football first guy, but I'm not only. I love it all.
Yeah.
Who's the basketball person that should be? I asked yesterday who should be with him. And I said Barrett Jones and Mark Ingram. Give me a basketball person that should be in there swinging with him.
I mean, Coach K. I mean, get Krzyzewski in there.
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
Now, Nick Saban's relationship with Tom Izzo from their Michigan State days, they're really, really tight.
Absolutely.
There were a lot of people that always thought every time Bama had a basketball opening that through that relationship that Izzo would come down there, and he never was close.
That's great.
But of the retired people, it is Coach K.
It's gotta be Coach
but
K.
can you have that two big alphas out there? I just got a great suggestion from a friend of mine, Jay Wright.
No, that's it.
That is
those two are the top two.
Ding,
for
ding,
sure.
ding, ding, ding.
For sure. I mean, Jay Wright is perfect. I didn't even think about Jay Wright, but that's absolutely the answer.
Let me dig through the prize closet and
Oh, man.
find something for my friend that just texted me.
That's a great one. That's beautiful. I love Jay Wright. And Jay Wright's been great
That's
on
really
television. It's really, and he'd be great in that role.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he would be
And
fantastic.
I don't think going back, so it would all be in the best interest of.
Yeah, no, he's been captain, swat down anything for You should
Really
come back and
has.
take this job or this job. How about this one? He is.
And he doesn't even play footsie.
No, it is immediate. I'm good. I like what I'm doing. I like being on television. He's really good at it. I mean, he is.
I want him on
great.
more, though.
Yeah, I agree with that. He could definitely be on more, but when he's on, he is fantastic. Brett, we were talking yesterday, and we've talked about it a lot today about more news coming out for scheduling NFL. They put out every international game earlier today. Week 1, Brazil. It will be Chiefs-Chargers. We talked about that yesterday, but the big news today about that is going to be the YouTube game. So that game, Chiefs and Chargers, pretty good getting the Chiefs. Everyone likes watching the Chiefs. They are going to be just log on to YouTube, free to watch NFL game this year.
By then, I'll have my superpower magic stick. Is that what it's called?
You can call it whatever you want, Brett.
Just
as long as
plug
you get
it into something.
As long as you get it in and figure out how to work it, you can name it whatever you want to name it.
Only because I have it in my notes for crunch time. Do you know the name of the stadium in Madrid that they're playing?
Stadium in Madrid that they're playing in.
I only know it because I have it in my notes.
I have no clue.
Santiago Bernabeu.
All right. Do we know
probably butchered the pronunciation.
Do we know who plays there?
The NFL game or who?
Or no,
the
like the
main tenant.
Yeah, like the main tenant.
I know neither.
Well, that's I can tell you who the NFL teams are playing. It's Commanders and Dolphins. So at least we got that part, but I don't know who the.
That's been a Super Bowl a couple of times.
That'll be a good game. I guess
was the Garo Yepremian Super Bowl, and that was the John Riggins Super Bowl at the Rose Bowl.
All right. So yeah, and we'll get it week 11.
And it was not a pass. Garo Yepremian, that was considered a fumble.
Wow.
A lot of people want to say he threw the ball. He might as well have thrown up on the ball, but it went down as a fumble, not as an attempted pass.
Wow. But no, I do like these international games this year. And Vikings, how about week 4 and week 5 on the road? In Ireland, week 4, Vikings, Steelers. Then week 5 in London, Vikings, Browns. So they'll stay out on the road. A long international trip for them.
That really will be.
Oh man, yeah, that will be. But hey, I'm sure they'll enjoy it.
They'll kiss the ground when they get home.
They sure will. They'll enjoy it while they're there, but then when they get back, man, they will be absolutely glad that they're back in the States. But it's going to be fun. A lot of news coming out, and we'll get more tomorrow night. The official.
Our listeners are so smart. A friend of mine says Real Madrid play AC Milan in that stadium.
I figured it was,
and it's an awesome stadium. This person's been to it.
How about that? Wow. A lot of those stadiums over there, the soccer stadiums are really nice.
Can I get my shot in at soccer?
Please.
You mean they hadn't gotten crazy and burned them down?
Well, close.
I kid soccer fans.
I was watching Spanish soccer earlier today. I bet on it. Girona.
All right, I'm watching soccer. Got to ask Bruce Marshall about this. I'm watching soccer Saturday or Sunday morning, and they were describing the best 17-year-old in the world, the best since Pele at the World Cup in 1958.
He's fantastic. He's incredible. He plays for Barcelona. He's ridiculous.
All right, if I say slow down on Jalen Brunson being the best New York Knick ever, slow way down on somebody being the next Pele.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but
I know enough about it than that.
I will casually watch soccer, and I can tell you this kid's incredible.
17.
Just watching him, you're just like, holy cow, that kid's 17, and he's really good. He's really, really good. And he's one of their big scorers. He's nice.
Tell you how ignorant, the true definition of unknowing, but also the slang ignorant. Got my Sports Illustrated with Pele on the cover, coming to the United States, coming to the New York Cosmos.
Yeah.
And I asked a friend of mine that knew a little more about soccer than I did, which was nothing. I said, hey, tell me everything about this Pele guy.
Probably looked at you
he
like
said,
you're
"You big
crazy."
Rube, it's Pele.
Well, that's us. Not a lot of soccer knowledge around here. You put all three of us together. I don't want to speak for Landon, but not much soccer knowledge on this show.
I'm not helping much either.
Okay, well, you play soccer.
Doesn't mean I know a lot about it.
A little rec league soccer.
We all played. We were made to.
True. Yeah, well, that is the case. But we got to wrap up this show, so we got to get to our final break. When we return, we'll wrap things up with Crunch Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
So this month, we, of course, celebrate the World Championship of Barbecue.
Yes, at Tiger Lane.
And if you're on a barbecue team, we wish you the very best.
I do not like where this is going.
We wish you the very best at being second.
Oh, this is bear poking.
Because the best barbecue in Memphis is and has been for a long time to be found at Central Barbecue.
Barbecue contestants take this very seriously.
Central Barbecue takes barbecue more seriously than anyone.
These are not people you want to make mad.
I don't want to make them mad. I just want them to be prepared to be outdone by Central Barbecue.
And I want everyone to know that I did not write this.
And it's really not even fair.
Constipation and belly pain still coming back. Yeah, Mia, our doctor, figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Lynn's asking helping it out of it. Lynn says this prescription medicine treats IBS-C in adults. It's not laxing. It's a blood-stealing pill that helps you get rid of your symptoms. It's proven that more fluid, complete bowel movements, and helps relieve overall bowel symptoms. Belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms are starting to combination on individually. And your Lynn says to drink this in care.
Sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and the staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Oh, tasty high note. Oh, hi, don't mind me. I'm practicing my new baritone sax. I just heard PayPal's paying for people's stuff every day for 100 days, and there's 10 million up for grabs. All you have to do is use PayPal checkout online. So there's never been a better time to buy a few things off the old wish list. Like this leaf blower! PayPal can pay for your purchase. The Great PayPal Checkout.
No purchase necessary ends July 18th. See official rules at paypal.com/thegreatpaypalcheckout/terms. Participating merchants only must use PayPal checkout online. Coverage of up to $100 and eligible purchases per card.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is that Memphis picked up another commitment, a Lane College stretch 4 shooter, shot about 43.6% last year at Lane College. He will be a scholarship player. I know there was some questions about that. Jason Munz has said that he will be a scholarship player. That means that unless we get expanded scholarships, the Tigers only have one more available scholarship for next year's team. We know Dane Danger attempting to get another year. If it is only 13 scholarships, Dane Danger gets that additional year. You would think that he would get that scholarship, but we'll see how Memphis wraps up this roster.
What I learned, Q, we are the world from the NFL scheduling. Croke Park, Dublin, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London.
Yes.
2 weeks in a row there. 2 weeks in a row at Wembley in London. 4 straight weekends total in London. Olympic Stadium in Berlin. Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid. And with that, the NFL also said this: Tulsa, Memphis, Birmingham, San Antonio, St. Louis, Louisville, go kick rocks.
That's right. Yeah, we'll go international, and we won't worry about all these other cities in the United States. What I could have done without the injury to Jason Tatum last night, it was as bad as we feared when we saw it last night. We saw him limping and having to get carried off the court. As Shams Charania reported earlier, Jason Tatum underwent surgery to repair a torn right Achilles tendon. He's going to be out for a while. That does not mean good things for the Celtics that we're already talking about having a weird offseason with what they have to do with their roster financially. Now you're going to be missing your best player. It's not good things.
And you know it's a hill I'm going to die on. I could have done without this. All these international games, you mentioned the Vikings will play back-to-back weeks, and on cue, off the song sheet, everybody will say how it's growing the game. From Roger Goodell to every media member, everybody's going to talk about that. What does that mean? How does it grow the game for that Viking season ticket holder? Does that mean a $50 coupon at the team store? Does that mean a free beer at the concession stand? Hey, how about free parking at a game? How does it really benefit them?
I don't think, certainly not in any of those ways. Nothing that I can see.
I know how it benefits Ziggy Wilf and Roger Goodell.
Of course. A lot of things benefits them, but not much benefits the fans. Where are you beaming tonight?
Give me basketball tonight since the Cardinals are out. Maybe late night Yankees at Seattle, but I'll take Oklahoma City tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be a really fun game. Beam me to the other one. Let's see if Indiana can wrap up this series and beat Cleveland. We know injuries. Still no word yet on if Donovan Mitchell will go tonight, but that will be the X factor if he'll be able to go. Really good night of sports, though.
Pacers can close out a 64-win team tonight.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Unthinkable.
You've got that. You've got a hockey game tonight. You've got the baseball, the games that haven't been
My
rained
Jets
out.
go tonight, don't they?
That's exactly right. The only game tonight in the National Hockey League. So a lot of good things to keep an eye on. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.